All right, so let us begin session 6 of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. Bum bum
Woo.
bum. Welcome back, adventurers. You have each spent what amounts to a refreshing and solid sleep in the Luskin Arms in the city of Targos in Icewind Dale. You had made your way from Bringesander, not traveling overly far, but stopping in to Targos, where you made your way to the Luskin Arms. Had yourself some drinks, cried in your cups about your dead family members, and decided to get a room. Upon asking for rooms, they only had two available, one of which was on the top floor, and you found yourself next to the VIP suite, currently occupied by the speaker for Targos. And as you made your way into the room, you found that you could actually overhear Speaker Nerith Maxildaner speaking next door, who appeared to be talking to somebody named Scath. You overheard some interesting tidbits of conversation before this Scath was dismissed for the evening and headed down to the common room. After which, you all headed to your beds and spent a restful night's slumber. And I guess that's where we shall pick things up. Um, Waking to the morning in the Luskin Arms.
None too happy about our neighbor messing with our speaker in Tourmaline.
Yeah.
No, not really not the good.
Did someone just come in?
Yeah, I'm on my way up.
Okay. I wonder how our Winzaria is doing today.
I poke her on the way out. Hey, wake up, wake up.
More minute.
Yeah, you tied one on last night. Hugs for everyone.
Oh, no.
Did anyone? I mean, have we gotten to the point where I've already done my morning prayers, or am I in my morning prayers at this moment?
Sure.
Yeah.
Did we hear anything else? Any other movement in the night of that the pet or the thing that speaker was talking to?
Uh, no. No,
Okay.
you weren't actively at the wall listening like you were when you were able to
Nope.
hear things. So, no.
Okay. One, two.
We should probably head up to go see the rest of them. They've got the bigger room. I get my stuff. I go upstairs.
Yay.
Little morning yoga for.
Yep. Doing salutations first, you know.
I forget if we have a window of any kind in the room to look out of.
Pretty sure.
I wasn't sure if it was hidden behind the curtain. So I want to look out the window. I'm just curious what sort of a day we've got here, aside from the gloom of the normal.
Looking out the window,
Snow.
it is dark And from what you can see, snow is falling lightly, and blowing pretty heavily. You can't see much because of the darkness and the lack of light.
My sort of weather. Um, should we go get our compatriots? Yeah, stretch, not knowing they're on the way. Stretch.
Sure. Let's meet them.
I'm assuming you'll arrive before we get we organize to get out the door. So,
Probably.
oh, good morning, ladies.
Good morning. How did you sleep?
Morning.
How are you feeling?
I feel well.
And you, Sarah?
I'm great.
Good.
Entering
the
into the
Thander
common
and
room.
The Kalimvar have shined down on all of us.
Entering into the common room, you
So-
see that there are probably 3 or 4 large individuals who have clearly been here all night. 3 or so of which are passed out, draped over tables in the corner or slogged back in chairs. One appears to still be muttering and drinking, muttering into his cup. Clearly been here all night.
Is the innkeeper still here, or is a different shift on right now?
Well, looking around, you don't see him at first, but after a moment or so, he comes out. Excuse me.
Who would like
He comes
to,
out
better
from
approach the
kind of a
innkeeper
back
with some
room.
info?
So yes, he at one point, and then you see him kind of take up his familiar now perch.
Well, Thea, did I say that
Thea.
right? God dang. I even wrote it down wrong. You seem to have some kind of a rapport with him last time. You want to continue
Yeah.
that?
Sure. I've got such a hangover. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
Stop.
Innkeeper?
Yeah,
No.
wasn't in there.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Bob.
All right, yeah, I'm just gonna walk over. It's okay. I'm used to this in life. It's totally fine. I'm gonna go and say good morrow.
Is it though? Is it really?
I mean, I went to sleep and I woke up, so gonna say it's the next day. And that's how that works, right?
It's same shit. Next day.
Um.
I
Well,
mean-
I was wondering if we could perhaps have a conversation as to some of the things you were talking to me about last night. Just want to help in any way I can.
What were we talking about? I don't remember having a real conversation with you.
You were just alluding to some things that might be going on. And I was just, now that it's not raucously full of people, thought maybe if there's anything that you needed to share, we'd be happy to help with any of your troubles.
Well, my troubles are the same, I think, as everyone's troubles. Is summer ever going to come back? I don't know. Maybe this is it. Maybe we've all actually already died. Maybe we're in hell. If you can bring back the sun, you'd be heroes indeed.
Well, that's certainly is our goal. Lathander's light must shine again.
Is it?
Excuse me.
No, yes, you're right to keep your voice down. The
Is there?
the speakers, sashes, they've been grabbing people. Anybody that speaks out, but they certainly blame it on blasphemy against the Frostmaiden. Just be careful. You seem like a nice lady.
Oh yeah, she's the best.
No, not her. You. Here, hang on a second. And he kind of goes back, and you see him take an egg and crack it into a cup, and he pulls a pull of ale into there, and you see him sprinkling some stuff in there and shake it up, and he puts it in front of you. He goes, "I think you need this." It's on the house, nice lady.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I do hope that your day is not as sad and dour. Do know there's always hope where there is still some small amount of light.
Well, I should thank you. I just don't. Beginning to stop knowing what's the point of any of this. But I'm glad that some people still have hope.
Well, I appreciate your time, and again, I hope you find some solace that not everybody is happy with the way things are. And I appreciate your heads up. And I put down a silver.
Which disappears, depressed or not, with alacrity into a fold in his apron as he runs his hand over his balding head and moves off to go look after something that in the back.
So, did when you return to the table, which is I'm assuming what you're doing, I'm like,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
we did we order breakfast?
Yeah, and let's we're gonna hand wave past all the food eating and
Okay.
breakfasting, and we're gonna say you guys did. 'Cause
Okay.
otherwise, we're gonna spend an hour again in a
Done.
tavern while you guys eat, order food.
Okay.
Right.
So from now on, we're just going to assume that you guys kind of take care of that kind of stuff, unless there's a specific reason for it, and just to kind of move things along.
Yeah.
So they
So
bring
what's our next
over,
step?
your
Tell you guys
foods
that
and whatnot.
stuff, and yeah, I tell you guys,
While I'm eating, I'm scribing stuff on a piece of paper, parchment, writing out a letter.
well, I mean, there is some suspicious stuff going on here, but it depends. I honestly think this area is just pretty depressed.
Plate at the moment. We should keep our ears open for stuff we may have started to get threads on last night. But for now, we stick to what we've got. We have a murder victim in this town. We don't know really anything about. We should at least look into that. We should see if the caravan passed through here. I mean, when the caravan passed through, when it left. Like, is it on its way to? My theory is it's on its way to Bremen.
Yeah.
And we should see if it exited the city that way, or if anybody knows anything about it, or if it's still here.
Guys,
And then we should find out anything we can about, even though it's not located here, Fudgy.
Budgie.
Tragic.
okay, go ahead and roll a perception.
My strong suit. 12.
Even with the 12, you're, the three that are, appear to be asleep. If they're faking, they're mummers. I mean, they appear to be out cold. They are drooling.
Okay.
and you can hear them snoring from where even you are. The other appears to be having an argument with himself. You can hear him mumbling. You can't quite make out the words, but he's like, you can hear it sounds like he's yelling at somebody, and then kind of he's talking back at, he's full on having an existential crisis.
Fair.
So no, you don't feel that anybody's actually listening to you guys at all at this point. This for the first time in days, you feel when not in a room that you are, you're within your own little bubble.
All right.
DM question. Do you think we can, like, just for sake of brevity, so I don't have to like separate from the group at any point?
Mhm.
Can we say that I set up with my partner to send messages with my familiar to him with my familiar,
Yeah,
and then if he has anything right away, that he can just tie it to the leg of the familiar or something, come back to me.
Yeah, what's the distance on find the familiar can move away from you before it pops out of existence?
Let me check. I was looking for that, but I couldn't find anything.
Let's say for now, for the sake of brevity, as you say, that yes, that it can get back to that area that you went to before, and carry a. Now, you have an owl, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just check one thing.
Gold beans.
Actually, it says it must be with. The only distance stuff that it says is for my telepathic and
Right.
spell abilities through it. It's within 100 feet, but it doesn't really say that it can't go further than that for anything benign like that.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So you can go to the outside with him, launch him in. Currently, the weather is such that it's light snow, with for what 10 towns is mild wind. So flight would be possible.
Okay, good. So I basically put, I just write a note of all the information that I need to give her, and tie it to the familiar's leg.
Okay.
So, who do you think we should start asking around? I know that there was another tavern, if I recall, locally. Maybe we could get some info there. If we're still trying to, figure out who was killed here in Targos. I do feel a little nervous after what you guys told me about speaking to the speaker. But, like the innkeep was saying, they're just hauling people off just for questioning.
Right.
things.
Yeah, as it stands right now, I wouldn't suggest speaking to the speaker. That doesn't sound like a good idea at all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have a contact here. Do your contact can't provide any information about the murder victim or anything along those lines, or did you already ask?
I haven't had a chance to ask them. I did just send a message to them with my familiar. My still out. That the saw me with earlier. If there's anything that they could impart, any information they might be able to impart to us, I'm sure they'll send it back with the owl.
What about if we ask for where a caravan? Where's the marketplace in this town? Where would they set up? Because maybe if there are other shops that are open, they may remember Torgs. Torgs, right? I think it was Torgs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Torg's traveling merchant company.
Right. So if the person who's best at telling a white lie says, "Oh, I saw something that they had that I wanted to purchase, and I after them. That's probably not believable.
That's
They
not
owe
me.
us.
I'm not the person for that.
Torgs owes agreed. Torgs owes somebody money, and maybe they're after Torgs to get the money back. But if they're friends of Torgs, they may not respond. I'm just trying to come up with some way that we can have a believable cover story.
Why do we need a cover story? Let's just go and ask somebody. Let's
Yeah.
just go and ask. I mean, I think we're concocting all these, these ideas, which I think if things get really serious, there's some credibility. But you know, let's not worry about getting into trouble before.
Oh no, I'm not.
I
I'm
think
not
we should
worried.
just
I'm not trying to get into trouble. I'm trying to have. There's a reason you have a story usually, which is that if someone's like, "Oh, I'm sure this store has everything that they could possibly have. What are you looking for?" Then you already have a story. You're not fumbling. If you have
all
a
right.
thing already concocted in your brain, that's
Then
less to
let's run with
fumble.
it.
You know, but we could do whatever. I'm just talking hypothetically, trying to get us going.
We heard they have a flute. That would be really great for our bard.
I like my loot.
Yeah. Okay, so
You finish up your
That
breakfast.
works.
As you do, Henrik, you hear a kind of a tapping at the window, even over the wind, and realize that you're familiar. Which, does it have a name, or is it just the familiar?
No, it is.
what?
I forgot to write it down.
Gollum? That's not very original.
It's what?
Okay,
I
it
have
doesn't.
a name
It doesn't.
for it.
It doesn't have a It doesn't have a name. It is the owl at the window. Is at the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's probably doing some telepathic, like, "Come get me out of this hole." So I'll go over to the window.
Okay. What is it that you had asked your contact for?
Just if there's any information pertaining to, because I basically listed all the stuff that I had heard from last night.
Yeah, I need you to ask me specific questions, not just
Okay.
an open-ended. Give me
I
any
got you, I got you,
information
I
you
got
want to
you.
give me.
All right. Uh, if they know anything about any ritualistic murders that have happened, or who I could talk to that might know.
Yes, there was a murder.
Did we lose someone?
Yep. Filbert.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Okay.
Next time, I'll make sure I type everything out and send it. That way, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, that'd be great. As far as you got it back, yes, there was a ritualistic murder. If by an ice shaft to the chest. This was over a month ago. No one really seemed to ask too many questions about it.
Again.
Well, I suggest we go to to another tavern or maybe the marketplace and just ask around.
Yeah.
I think we can make small talk without having to make a big plan.
Right.
Bring up the conversation and say, "Oh, by the way, I heard a rumor, that this happened.
So-
you know where it happened?"
Inquiring just with the serving people for what's out there. You find that there are probably one of the most frequented taverns by the fishermen, which is the vast majority of the people who actually live in Targos, is the Three Flags Sailing. And that if you're looking for a general store, Triglio is the place to be for that.
Triglio?
Thank you.
And at which point she walks away, kind of humming a little tune. You kind of hear her saying, "Trigliolets and all." As she walks away, you can't quite make out the words, but it seems the name kind of sparked a little jingle as she walked away.
That was pretty.
Well,
All right. Well, I say, I mean, we could split up or stick together. I mean,
I'm fine with sticking together.
let's head to the market, then to the tavern, then.
Works for me.
So you said two places, but I couldn't tell which one you wanted to go to.
Let's start with
Market.
the yeah.
The general store. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Got it. Yeah, she's done. All wrapped up.
Okay. She had given you pretty general directions, but you found that it's pretty easy to navigate there. Triglio is not too far from the Luskan Arms, though. In Targos, really, nothing really is. But it is very central and not too far away from the docks, similar to where you are now. And I will give you a spot on the map for it.
Oh, nice. So you
He
pull
says,
or should we pull up the map?
Filbert says his internet is down, trying to figure out what's going on.
See, it is. It's rampant, man. You were right, Mitch.
Yeah.
Mitch makes a joke, and it's prophetic.
It's only when I'm being silly. When I'm serious, I make no sense whatsoever.
No, but I bet you're not wrong. As
Yeah.
crazy as that sounds, I bet that's probably right.
So you're gonna pull up something on our map, or should we pull up our map and see what?
If you look at your screen, you should see a circle been drawn around the building.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
I
Again,
was looking at the big
I'm-
Icewind Dale map.
I'm going with the user error.
Sure, definitely my error. I looked at the wrong map.
I'm just. Oh,
For a
don't.
ranger, I'm really good with the maps.
Yeah. Well, Roanoke is very good with maps. Mitch, not so much.
Not so much. Okay.
So,
All right. So
general store.
yes, you guys make your way across. As you're starting to, you guys didn't pop up at the crack of dawn, but fairly early. Making your way across, it's starting to lighten up just a little bit. You realize it must be getting close to 10 o'clock, 10:30 or so, as you can actually make your way out. Beyond it being pitch dark, as it was when you sent your familiar out. So you're able to navigate down the street. Again, the wind is blowing. It's bone chilling cold though. You guys can feel it in your teeth, even wrapped up as you are. Just the nastiness of just this depressing, dark, cold. As you guys make your way through the streets. You start to come around and you come to this building. It's got what looks like it could be a very pleasant place in the summer, with this kind of porched area where you imagine there might have been goods and crates and even maybe some of tables set out and overlooking the bay. That is now frozen solid. But as it is right now, as you approach, there's nothing on this porch but piles and drifts of snow. And you hear the loud clamoring of a sign banging against the side of a building. And looking up, you can see the word Trilo in common.
In we go.
In you go. Yeah, you guys come into what is a uh, you know standard, if you will, as far as those things go, the sense of a general kind of store. You see tables with goods, some shelves packing along the wall, very high with a ladder behind a counter. You do see an individual back there. It looks like be that he is putting together items into a crate. Um, and as he looks up, he sees you. Oh, yes, welcome to Triglo. May I do
What
for
kind
you?
of what kind of items are very common in this store? Like, are there like skinning knives and fishing hooks and I mean, what kind of stuff are we looking at here?
Taking a moment just to quickly look around, you see pretty much everything that you would expect for sundries and basic living. You see blankets. You see satchels of flour in one area. You see nails, anything that you can imagine that would be found in a generalized store. I'm trying to think of what the Olsons thing on Little House on the Prairie, but 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 very much like that. The one thing that you don't see really any kind of fishing equipment
That's surprising.
at all.
Well, then I'll ask. I will. I'll ask the
Whisper things.
the clerk or whoever he is. Uh, I'm kind of looking for a gutting knife. Um, I'm looking around and I'm waiting. Hmm. Does he say anything?
Um, we have several different knives that are good for hunting and cleaning of your kill. And he kind of takes you over to a cabinet where inside there are several different hunting knives, all the way up to probably 5 or 6 different daggers of
Nice.
various styles.
As he, as if he's pulling them out, I'm going to kind of uh, extensively test them out in the air, look them over. I'm really investigating these in case that gives time for whoever else has anything else that they're doing. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to make small talk with the guy and say, things like, you know, in the conversation, I'll bring up the fudgy. I hear there's a big whale in what's the town again? I look over to the people in the party. What's the town?
Off of Bremen.
Ralph of Bremen.
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 Yeah,
Off of
Bremen.
Bremen.
Have you ever hearing anything about any travelers that come in here about some kind of a big whale?
A whale? No, jeez, no. In Mare Dunland, really. But no, but I do know of the troubles and those.
The lake monster.
Yeah,
Lake
those Bremen. Well, it comes from being in such a small town. I think very provincial. They don't even have a proper wall. But
I
yes,
laugh and so what rumor have you heard about and I try to make fun of it, lake monster?
well, I've heard all kinds of things. Boats that went out from Bremen and yet never came back. Some come back with large chunks torn away from them. They swear look like bite marks. It seems far-fetched, I tell you, but, it would have seemed far-fetched if you told me that the sun wouldn't rise for 2 years.
True.
Well, the best entertainment that we have moving around 10 towns is all these wonderful rumors. I heard another rumor about a month back about somebody getting gutted by some kind of an ice knife or something. You heard anything about that?
That, my friend, was no rumor. 'Tis true. They found him.
Well, really?
Oh, they found him on the docks just out across the courtyard out there.
Really? Where? I ask him to point.
He kind of takes you over to the door and he points out there's an open space, and you see all the different docks that once went out into the harbor, which is now just a giant field, a
lake.
plain, right? A plain of ice, of ridge, and snow. But he points to the dock that's actually straight across from the outside of the store. Just
Wow,
o-
that's close.
just over
Did
yonder.
you see anything? Did you hear anything?
Oh well,
That
Don't-
can't happen all that often, right?
don't. Well, I'd like to say that murders don't happen all the time, but unfortunately, they do happen from time to time.
It's 10 towns.
It is. It
You're
is.
right.
And which town are you from, friend?
Well, I'm kind of from all of them. I'm actually from, and I point. I kind of grew up out there, but my friends here. So
I'm from
two of them actually came from this town. I look
I'm
over.
from Dugan's Hole.
There you go.
Oh, yes. I'm sure it's very nice there, miss. I'm sure.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, with the
It's very quaint,
weather's
isn't it?
lovely.
Very witty. Very witty indeed.
So, were there any suspects?
I'm sorry, sir?
Were there any suspects? I mean, did they catch the person who did that murder?
I don't believe. Not that I've heard, no. I would like to say that the speaker and the militia here were very driven to the welfare of the people, but more they're concerned with appeasing of the Frostmaiden. At least that's what they will have you think.
Well, I mean, did you know the poor soul? I mean, it's not that big of a town. I mean, most of 10 towns aren't huge areas. You must have known the poor man or woman.
Was it a man or a woman? That's a good question.
It is a good question. A question I know the answer to.
Yeah, while he's pondering the answer, I'm like saying, "Can I see that knife over there?"
Certainly, certainly. And he hands that to you. Why don't I not have?
Was it somebody that you knew?
Guys, just give me a second here, okay? He does know, and for the life of me, I cannot find where I've got all that information.
You got it.
Sorry.
Oh no, Filbert's probably out for the game.
No.
Downed utility pole,
Ah, shit.
Well, at least it's not Xboxes.
right?
Oh man, Filbert.
I can't believe that I didn't write this down. Well, is that Filbert? Dave?
Yeah.
It was just me telling him to try again. Wait a little bit. Maybe they'll fix it.
If it's down pole, it's probably gonna be down for like 2 to 4 hours
Yeah.
at least. My experience, at least.
John, I don't know what you're using for a microphone, but it's not the best.
Yeah, it's the one in my laptop.
Okay. This is where I miss my old Well, I will say yes, I did know her. I did know her indeed. Uh, she was very well off, don't you see? It's hard not to know her. She was uh, owned her own fishing boat. Employed several of the fishermen here. Trill.
Do you think
Trill
is
Ferrick
it
was her
possible?
name.
What was that?
Trill. Trill Ferrick.
Trill? Well, that's so sad. I'm sure there's a lot of people around here who are very upset, considering that they lost their employer as well as a local friend.
Well,
Has
they
anybody taken over her business?
yes, as a matter of fact, the speaker was good enough to step in and fund the operation and keep the individuals working. I do believe he even set up a plan that the employees would eventually take over jointly.
Interesting. Did she have any enemies? I mean, was she controversial in any way?
I don't believe so. No, I think she was uh, quite well liked around here. Um, I know that she was tight with um, the speaker on good terms. They were known to be friends, and also with the captain of the guard, Scaff. They all seemed to be quite friendly. She was a frequent customer of mine, as a matter of fact.
Well, that is such a shame.
It was down peculiar, I will say. So, I had. What do you like this one right here? It's a little bit heavier than the others, much more punch power. It's nearly a dagger. This one.
How much is this one?
The one that he shows you is technically could be used as a dagger for terms of mechanics and whatnot, and it's quite nice. 5 gold.
I bristle when he tells me 5 gold, and I'm like, it looks like it's fine craftsmanship, but it's just a bit too rich for me.
Well, I understand.
Well, thank you for your time.
Oh, and it's, of course.
One more thing. My friend, she's of the musical arts. We were hoping that Torgs was still here because I've been told they had this special lute that was very, very good craftsmanship. And we've been kind of trying to catch up with them. Do you know when Torgs was last here?
Torgs. Ugh. Yes. They do come through now and again. Nasty little woman. Not a fan, I must say. I mean, I'm all for competition, but between you and me, and he kind of lowers his voice conspiratorially, I think she dabbles in other most, shall we say, not so wholesome pursuits, if you take my meaning.
Dear.
I look completely dumbfounded and idiotic, and I say, "No, I don't get your meaning." What?
Well, friend, I think.
Is she a whore?
Oh, I certainly wouldn't say so, but you know,
Oh, I thought that's what you meant. All right.
wherever your tastes lie, I certainly not my place to make any judgments along those lines.
Oh, not for me. I just thought that's what you were saying.
Oh, I see. No. More of the protection racket, if you will.
Oh, thugs! Thugs
Ye-
and rapscallions!
Indeed. And I would question very closely where any loot that you might purchase from her originally came from, if you undertake my meaning.
Mm.
Oh.
I
A
do.
fair
Ill-gotten
point.
gains. Ill-gotten gains.
I don't like to speak badly
How often do
against
they come-
competition, but in this case, I feel compelled. He kind of.
How often do they come through? Does her group come through here?
Well, she darkens our doorstep here in Tagos and some regularity, several times a year, usually several months apart. I don't believe that she's been here in at least, a month or two, maybe.
Where does she go on from here? Do you know?
Oh, she tends to follow her nose, as they say. Looking, she'll buy something in one place, sell it in another. Where she buys them, I do not know. I've actually never seen her spend a copper, but I don't follow her business that
Pursuits,
closely.
yeah. I'd like to
DM
spend
is-
a copper.
Good. Go.
I'd like to spend a copper, sir. As you can imagine, I have an axbeak who's not terribly keen on carrying me around. Do you have any dried fish or anything along those lines that I could offer as reward for the poor beast?
Most certainly, of course. Hardtack and dried jerkies right here.
Thank you, sir.
And he puts a bag together for the 5 copper that you give him.
I'll pay him.
Yep.
That's a good idea. Is there the equivalent in 10 towns in Icewind Dale in general of like following the sun? Obviously, there's no sun, but is there like a traditional route throughout the towns that caravans go and follow on a regular basis?
Well, I wouldn't say that there is one that goes through all of 10 towns. However, certainly around Mardolden, there is a progression, if you will, with Bremen being on one end and Targos to Tourmaline to Lonelywood kind of being that arc that you go. Merchants and travelers tend to either go one way or the other, some back and forth. The East Haven Ferry. You do know about that, don't you? It has been now almost 2 months. It has, yes. They've stopped running it. It's made getting to both the Cares, very, very difficult on Loch Dinenshire.
Did they give any explanation as to why it would be down?
Well, it's pretty dangerous going, from what I've heard these days. The sailing on Loch Dinenshire is full of ice and hazards. Personally, I think that there might not have been enough coin to drive people out on the loch. Though I can't imagine it's done well for either Caer Dineval or Caer Konig. The overland routes to those are, shall we say, arduous at best.
Well, you've been extremely helpful, and although I did not purchase anything, I want to thank you for your time. I want to give him a silver piece.
Oh, well, I'm a merchant, not an information broker. So here, please, in for your silver, and he hands you another thing of dried fish jerky.
How nice!
Probably about the same size.
Just take some silver off. Well, I think we should we head out unless anybody else has any other questions.
No, I think we should head to the other tavern, the Fishy Tavern.
Fishy Tavern. Let's do it.
3 Flags Sailing.
Yep.
Bye.
Now, since we're new in town, after we exit, I do say, can someone who's got better eyes than me keep an eye to see if we're being followed?
So paranoid.
I think he's an escaped criminal. I've long surmised that he is not really a paladin, that he found a paladin on the road who was dying and assumed his identity. I say this with full earshot of Don.
And I laugh at you and I say Kellamvar will judge you for such comments.
I'm not sure if that's a threat, but carry on.
It's only a threat if he offers to send you to that judgment.
Right.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I've marked on your map, for those of you map challenged,
Mm-hmm.
the location of the three flags sailing. It's in green.
And that little red dot's where the person was killed. Red
Uh,
square?
yeah, we'll say so.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You said it was
Sure.
right across the
Yeah.
way. So.
Let's
It
go.
fit the narrative. So
Do you want to go and check out where this woman was murdered?
Sure.
It's been a month. I don't know what's going to be left, but we can definitely investigate.
I certainly
think we're
hope
gonna
the
find any
body is not
clues.
there.
No, but
But last time we found some weird drag marks,
That's
and
true.
it had been a while.
that's
You
a
know?
really good point. Thank you for validating my crazy idea of checking the site of the crime. No, what I really mean is maybe we'll run into somebody who, saw something, who worked
Yeah.
nearby.
Possibly.
Cool.
So, is that a good idea, or do you want to go to the tavern?
No, let's do it.
We
All
can
right.
stop by there first. I mean,
I mean,
doubt-
it's on the way to the
Stop
tavern.
at the tavern, and we're going to be there all day,
Damn.
No, we're not.
or not. No, what do you guys want to do? I'm fine for either.
I say we just go quickly check out the area. I mean, there's no
Yeah.
harm in
Go check
that.
the dock.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so you guys make your way, just a few minutes walk. The light has started to get a little bit brighter at this point, as you're getting closer and closer to the noon hour. And you make your way down the dock. It's a strange kind of sensation walking out on the dock. You can see where drifts of snow have kind of covered the ice. So it doesn't actually feel to you like as if you're walking out onto a lake, but more just walking across a snowy field with this wooden slippery dock in the middle of an open field. As you get closer, about halfway down the dock, you can see that there's actually a larger fishing vessel. Clearly, that would have needed to have been run by several different hands and been able to stay out for a long time and hold a very large cast. You can see the boom arm on the vessel that signifies that they used to use large nets to actually fish with. But it is now frozen in place. And you can see the ice and whatnot has solidified all around it. And the indicated spot that you were told about seems to be just in front of this large vessel.
When I go to the spot, I'm going to try to take a look around and see who's working, who's doing their daily activities within clear view of this particular spot. Trying to get a gauge of who might have seen or been available to notice what was going on, whether or not they reported or not, for any possible further questions.
Sure. Go ahead and give a perception, because you're just kind of taking in everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a 15?
Yep.
15's pretty good. No. You notice a couple things right away, Roanoke. While this large vessel is frozen in place, you can see that there are areas on the ship that clearly had smaller longboats, places where those boats would have been secured on the deck. They are currently not on the deck. And you can see the marks of long, often used, something being dragged away from the back of the boat and out across the snowed in, frozen harbor towards the open gates that lead out further into Mare Dulden.
This is across the ice of the frozen bay, or is this into town? I'm not sure. I misunderstood what you wrote. What you said.
Yep, I will show you. So look
Even
at your
better.
map. You can see.
Ah, there we go.
And while you're looking around, you see that there are lots of different drag marks. And even that seems to be individuals now currently, some late goers currently dragging out boats out to this area up in here where they can actually get onto unfrozen water.
Yeah, you had mentioned
Are there
that last
key-
time that the inlet was frozen in. So
Yeah. They've been dragging boats out
Yeah.
to try to
Yeah.
smashing ice where they could.
Yep.
And
Ice fishing, traditional old school ice fishing.
while standing at the
Gonna-
dock, Roanoke, you do you also take note that there is some industry and noise coming from up on the deck of the ship, and that there is a gangway leading from the deck down to the dock that you're standing on.
Well, I do my best impression of a Sherlock Holmes finding some kind of clue, and I point all these things out. Basically, just yeah, finger up in the air and pointing.
I was gonna say I was gonna poke around a little bit and check the dock itself and see if there's any remaining remnants of anything that would happen.
That
But
sounds
I
like a
doubt it.
great idea.
Yeah.
Do an investigation.
21.
21.
Nice.
I got a +6 to the
Nice.
Do you have advantage?
No, you just take the first one.
Oh, okay.
Anytime that it rolls accidentally, advantage or disadvantage, the first one is the first. If you only need one.
I accidentally had it.
No, it's all good. It happens all the time. Yeah. So searching, you can see that there are there's buildup of ice and kind of that hard packed snow that gets kind of gritty. It looks like that to help with traction, there's been a bunch of sand and whatnot repeatedly has been thrown over this area to try to aid with the slipperiness. But you see it looks like there have been countless tracks and footprints on a regular basis. You're not even able to ascertain really where a body might have been, knowing that this is several months gone now. But you don't see anything out of the ordinary. There's a bit of residue of, it looks like dragged fish, kind of slime that's been frozen over. Coming up and down this gangway, you see some of that kind of residue that's now frozen over. There is a bucket that is off to the side, and I don't mean bucket, a barrel that as you look in, you're almost glad that there is not a smell because it's all frozen solid, but it looks as if it wasn't, it would be vile. It appears to be the remnants of fish guts and heads and cleaned fish that has been thrown and left to freeze solid.
Sounds a lot like a chumsicle.
You're familiar with a chumsicle?
Joe the shark is me, but
They
Yeah.
threw
But
out
not
the best
Dodvin.
parts.
Ugh.
Doesn't appear to be any signs of what happened. I didn't think so though, because it's been over a month.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
figured. No harm in looking, though.
Well,
Off to the tavern.
People on the boat might know something though.
Yeah, we
Oh,
could
the
always
people on the boat?
ask the people on the boat.
Yeah, he said he heard some stuff on the boat.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
Right after that, we'll go to the tavern. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go head over and see if some of our more friendly types can get some information out of our these surly sailors. I look over to Winzira.
To the
You're-
boat, to the boat, to the boat.
You're one of the more likable of us.
Maybe a good sea shanty.
What's a sea shanty?
No.
Oh boy.
That's your department.
I don't have a department. I just have my loot.
It's a song for people of the sea.
Ooh, do you know some?
Well, I am not a performer. That is not where Lathander has left me. I can tell you that. But you know, singing songs about drinking grog and catching fish and things.
Not about the Southland.
Gotcha. Drinking fish.
Actually, is there, like, out of curiosity, a little ditty that I might know from my lakeside town that I might know because, I'm not the most
Sure.
uncharismatic fellow. I might be able to hum a few bars or sing it or out of curiosity.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Can I
sure
do
there
a-
is.
Can I do a history check and see if I know like a song? I guess.
Yeah, both of you may.
All right.
Little ditty about Jack and Diane.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
15.
Yeah, you know several there. And
Yeah, 14
Dodvin,
for me
you
for
know a
sure.
couple as well, sure.
So
Yeah.
We
Who
like
lives in a
fish and-
pineapple under the sea?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So as
There's
you
one
you start to sing this as you walk up the gangplank there, and as you look over the edge, give me a perception roll as well as you're singing.
Winzira?
Well, I thought Dodvin was the one who was.
Yeah, I was. So
Yeah, yeah.
18.
So Dodvin, as you walk up the gangplank, singing, on all 7, 8, 9 inches of you, with kind of this very deep, you see what looks to be like a small brazier, with kind of a tent structure that's been kind of set up over it. And you see two, it's hard to make out much about them because they're so bundled up and kind of very close to this brazier. But they seem to have constructed it in such a way that the wind is somewhat mitigated. And they're working on repairing these large fishing nets with these wooden kind of structure, these wooden, I wouldn't say that they're needles. They look like, these things and they're weaving them through the nets, repairing it. And as you walk up, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? And they kind of stop real quick and and they go, SpongeBob SquarePants. and they just kind of like you can see just like kind of their eyes and whatnot, but there's like look up. Do the rest.
Who's porous and yellow and oh god,
I think porous was the last line.
was it? Okay.
Porous is he.
Yeah. God, Joe doesn't remember
SpongeBob
it,
SquarePants.
This is probably a group of people that don't know anything but that chorus.
Well,
I should have made you roll a performance check on that, but we're gonna give it to you just for the SpongeBob.
I appreciate that.
You get a pass because of the SpongeBob bit. Well, I haven't heard that song since I was a little lad. Ho, ho, ho.
Brings back fond memories of before the cold and the ice.
Eh? What'd he say? Oh, shut up, you old gaff. I'm talking here. You're deaf as a board. You couldn't hear what he said anyway. He's selling boards? Shut up. And you hear this thump is like that the cockchair. He hits him over the head with it. Well, I don't know that we've got much for you. No fish here today. The lads are out on the mar looking, fishing, working the nets. We're just here. We're told. But what could I do for you?
Actually, I'm curious about two things. I'm curious. There was an unfortunate incident for the owner of the boat just outside of here, we heard tale. Did you happen to see anything?
He's looking for a tail? We don't... No mermaids here! Shut up, you fucking...
Your employer, Trill. said he met
Roll a
an unfortunate-
persuasion, if you
Okay.
will, Dodvin.
Certainly. Please, Lord, let this not be a shit roll. Fuck me! Excuse my friend. Still got an 8, though.
He
Could have been better.
you notice he squints a little at you. You be asking about Mistress Farak, then?
Yeah.
We had
As
heard
he
that.
says this, I run up and I hug him.
The first hug of the night.
Okay. Let's see what...
Might that give him an advantage?
Probably disadvantage.
Uh,
Yeah,
Whoa.
you got a pretty good charisma, right?
my 2 is. can't
Well,
hurt with
hello there. Guess is this wee one yours? Your little girl, is it? And
Hardly.
She's her,
Hardly.
she's her very own.
so as he looks down and notices the goblin. Oh, Jesus Christ and heckhacker! Hey, that's pretty rude of you, you shit. Can't help herself what she looks like.
She takes after the missus.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yes,
Go.
I'd be happy to help. I'm happy to help, but if you take this back, please, yes. I'll maybe what would well, I'll answer what I can if what?
Well, we were just concerned. We heard that you lost your employer, and it was under terrible circumstances. With everything that's going on, the last thing we need is random, murders.
It's terrible, terrible indeed.
Had anybody seen anything?
Well, no, we didn't see anyone. No one. We didn't see her murderer. I'll tell you that. We'd have run him through and killed him dead. She was a good boss, she was. She kept us in coin, ran a tight ship, always seemed to know the best places for us to get a good haul. Kept us all fed, she did.
Nobody, no enemies, no rivals.
No enemies at all. In fact,
Anybody try
and
to
she's
buy
tight.
the? Yes, I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Well, I don't want to talk over you, lad. But
No, I'm.
but
good.
she no, certainly no enemies. Very tight in with the powers that be, even. Personal friend of the speaker. Did business with old Scarth. Even crazy. She knew full well she didn't ran afoul of the lottery. And then this happens.
What do you mean she ran afoul of the lottery?
No, she didn't, lass. She didn't. She made it through the lottery. Same as us.
Ah.
But
Ah.
Oh, that's some luck there.
Yes, indeed.
luck indeed. And he taps his nose.
I
You
tap
have
my
an
nose.
itch?
I tap my nose back and I whisper to him, and I'm like, did she try? Did she avoid some unfortunate lottery fate?
Well, yeah. She knowed the palm to grease, didn't she? It's no secret.
See.
Certainly no secret. Well, it's sort of a secret.
anybody-
It's bad manners to talk about it, really. But if I had the coin, you
Well-
damn well sure I'd be doing it.
So, did anybody voice any dissension? Anybody very upset vocally?
Oh, Lord, no. I mean, there's probably, I'm sure, some grumblings. Those who couldn't afford to do so, which is the most of us. But it's not like it's a secret. Who agrees?
Who fell in the last lottery where she was supposed to possibly maybe have been the sacrifice? Do you know?
I don't know. No, lad from a different shipping, fishing vessel, I should think. Do you remember, old man? Hey, fishing vessel? No, the one who got killed, who was sacrificed to the Frostmaiden. Yes, Frostmaiden. Terrible business. No, who was it who got sacrificed? Sacrifice? That was the Larkin boy from Horga's ship. Everybody knows that. Soft melon
What's
head.
the name of the ship?
Horga's?
Horgas.
Aye. That's who owns their ship. I don't know what she calls it. We don't go in for that Southlander thing of naming the ship up here. It's just usually named after the person who owns it.
Sufficient.
Easy to remember.
Well,
I'm gonna. Can I do like an insight to see if there's my insight check to maybe see if it might be that it seemed like he might be holding information back there?
Especially that old guy. He's really sketchy.
Certainly. Roll an insight. Yep. No, they seem like they're very open and willing to talk about it. It doesn't seem like they're worried about the fact that there's no reason for them not to be talking to you. It's not like they're holding things back, but you might not have, everything you've asked them, they've shared. But they're not. They don't look like they don't seem like they're going well out of their way to volunteer information that you haven't asked.
No. So I hear that the new speakers has been handling the ship for you guys.
Aye, that he did. Kind of took over, making sure that our catch got properly sold. We still get a cut, though. I'll tell you, he's taken a bit for himself. I think probably a bit more than old Mistress Farrick used to, but, we still
It's
get
kind
quite
of hurt a little.
Yeah, a little bit, sure. I mean, it's always hurts to not quite make as much as you were before. But I'll tell you this, if he wouldn't be doing it, we,
Out of work.
we'd be starved for death for sure.
That
Hmm.
Well,
Any other questions?
Well,
Do you know any shanties?
Yes, little thing, I do.
Will you teach them to me?
I will happily. Sure. Roll persuasion.
Okay. 7.
um, do me a
Dice keep
favor,
failing us.
Rebecca. Change the color of your dice. When they're black, I can't actually see anything but the outline of them because they're all black.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see it at all.
yeah, I didn't see any
Yeah,
physical
neither.
dice.
Huh. Strange. Yeah, they're coming up
I
on.
heard the little.
Yeah. Well, okay. Never
Heard of
mind.
a what?
I can see it.
Hmm. Well, I see the numbers. I think everybody sees the numbers, though.
Yeah, in chat.
Yeah,
So he kind of doesn't seem really too keen on it, but just to kind of get you to go, he teaches you a quick little shanty about going out in the morning and hopefully making it back to sell
while he's
to your
going
girl.
over the shanty, I want to just keep a keen look around and see if there's anything off place on the boat that doesn't seem like it should be on the boat.
Okay.
Since we're on the boat, I can get a better look later.
Give me an investigation for that.
Be a 13.
From what you know about ships and whatnot, it actually looks like this one is kept in pretty good repair for the fact that it's icebound. And although there doesn't seem to be the normal rigging that would be up in the masts and the spars, the sails have all been removed and stowed. But other than that, it looks as it could any ship in the dead of winter.
well, it's been lovely speaking to you, and thank you so much for teaching our little one the shanty. We won't keep any more of your time.
I
May Lysander's
I
blessing
don't-
be with you.
It's hard to tell the time without the sun. Sorry.
I like him.
I point at the gentleman as we leave, and I say, "I wish you many bits of nautical nonsense, good sir," and I depart.
Good luck with your kid.
All right, so yeah, we're heading to the other tavern.
Do you guys think we should maybe talk about maybe find that whoever was maybe the parents of the Larkin boy?
Look, I will say as soon as we're away from the ship, I will
Yeah.
say to the party, this is the second way out of the lottery who is wound up with an ice shaft through their chest.
Yeah, and the person who was supposed to, the person who got killed instead was from Torga's ship.
No.
The Torg- I thought you said Torg's.
Horga.
No,
Yeah, which is Torga Icevein, right?
Hor, it's with an H. Horga.
Horga. Okay. See, here I was making all sorts of connections, thinking.
no. The
Sorry.
definite connection is that she might be coming through doing these murders of people who are bribing their way out of the lottery.
Yes.
Well, it might not be connection at all, but we should definitely investigate it. But it certainly seems like somebody's going after whoever's getting out of the lottery.
Right.
Yeah.
Which could be cultists. It could be unrelated to the Torga at all. Like we were
Right.
guessing in the last town that maybe there's.
Yes.
I have a crazy recommendation.
Yes.
My mother was killed by a yeti.
I am sorry to
But
hear that
before
again.
she died, she imparted to me many different types of wisdoms. One of which was in our hunting with the tiger tribe out on the Ragged Tigers, that sometimes if you want to catch a predator, you need some bait. Maybe we should see about we try to find out who we can pay off to be immune to the next lottery and see if that flushes out whoever's doing this.
Well, we have to find the next town where the lottery is going to happen. Are we going to sit around for months? Well,
no, it
how
happens in
often
3
does the lottery
towns.
occur?
Every month in 3 towns.
How long
So
ago?
it
This was a month ago that this person was killed. But how do we know when the next lottery is?
No, I don't have that answer. I don't
No.
think we know the exact date.
We could probably ask.
Yeah, we could certainly ask somebody.
yeah. Sounds like the tavern would be a good place to ask that.
Yes. This is a conversation on the way to the tavern.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
On the way to the tavern.
All right. So, you approach and you see a smaller building. The sign in front of this one, blowing in the winds, has looks to be like a mast with 3 different flags on it, flapping in the distance. They probably were painted at one point. They've been kind of blasted clean now, so they're all just kind of whited over the entire sign. But you recognize this as the 3 flag sailing. As you step inside, you see a rather subdued common room. You see scanning the room, 10 or 11 individuals hunkered over long rectangular tables, many of which are shoveling something into their mouth from small wooden bowls. You, even for the first time in a while, get hit with a smell. Having been used to everything being frozen, this really kind of stands out as you are assaulted with the unmistakable smell of fish, an old fish, coming off of like oils off of people's bodies. Just the smell that you're all, being from 10 towns, are well familiar with, but the concentration in here is notable. You see a plump, gray-haired human woman, some wrinkles around her eyes, kind of bristling between tables, speaking a word here, dropping a bowl of something steaming on another table. She moves very, very gracefully, despite her rounded figure and obvious advanced age. So much so that it's hard to miss that she must be the owner or the person who runs the tavern.
All right. Well, I suggest that we, order some drinks.
Yes, ma'am, can we have a round
Yeah.
of drinks, please? And skipping that.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
will pay for this round. Yeah.
So she brings over bowls of stew, fish stew for everyone. You each get that and a flagon of slightly watered down ale. Those of you from Lake Towns, I'll be okay. 10 Towns. Yeah, suddenly we're in freaking Middle Earth. Those of you from 10 Towns recognize that this is from Good Mead. This is ale from Good Mead, if slightly watered.
Make it last longer.
Yeah.
This
they
is
gotta stretch it.
yummy.
Yep.
For the entire party, that sets you back 5 silver.
I pay her.
Yep.
No problem.
And she welcomes you. Welcome to Three Flag Sailing. I haven't seen you a lot. Not our normal lads off of the boat come in for a bit of respite.
Indeed. Thank you for having such a wonderful establishment. This fish stew smells fresh.
Well, we do our best with this hand that we've been dealt. Trying
Well-
times indeed. Trying times.
Indeed.
Well, you definitely seem to have the place under well control. Dare I say, even more efficient than the Luskin Arms.
Go on with you. We don't put on the airs that the arms does. Although I hear that their floor might just sink right into the basement at some point. Oh, but don't tell them I said so.
Never. Well, we are some of us from the towns.
Yeah,
Just
welcome then.
traveling through. Just
Lovely.
traveling through, and we were wondering. Do you know? We've heard of in some of these towns that there is a lottery. Is this something that we need to be concerned about as visitors?
Well, yes, by the gods, yes, you should be concerned about it. Have you not been through a lottery? Terrible business.
No, not in my town.
My town doesn't do this sort of lottery.
Ah, you're from one of the smaller settlements.
Yes, I'm from
Yes.
Dugan.
Yes.
But actually, what we're interested in is if we have to put ourselves into the lottery. And I whisper, I lower my voice, and I lean in. Anybody know a way to kind of, I don't know, I rub my forefinger and thumb together?
Well, roll a persuasion.
I'm the wrong one for this.
While he's doing that, I want to kind of scan the room and make sure, like,
Yep, I'm definitely the wrong one for this.
Oh man.
Jesus.
Your fingers
rolled
burst
for
into
those
flames.
viewers who are not able to see, I rolled a 1.
Yeah.
You broke your finger.
Well, young man, I certainly don't participate in any of those foul business, but clearly, yes, that does go on. There are those who have the means and, well, let's just say that if you have the coin, yes, you can improve your odds, shall we say.
What I wanted to know was just for being in the town, are we subject to the lottery? Or do you have to be a citizen? And when exactly should we leave if that such has become the concern?
Rapid fire with the questions there. Yeah, that's lovely.
Well, I'm
Aren't
very
you-
worried. I don't
You are. You're a ray of sunshine, aren't you? Yeah, just lovely.
In fact, I am.
And
item the standard.
Since you're all from the smaller little towns and clearly not aware, it's good that you came and asked. But being that you don't live in Targos, you wouldn't be put in the lottery. But I have heard that if you stay here longer than 1 month between two lotteries, the second one they will add your name to
Okay.
two of the chits that they draw. But the lottery is done on the rising of the full moon. Oh, that is what 6 days from now, as a matter of fact. You might not want to stay.
Stick around. Yeah.
Things are, shall we say, tense the days leading up.
Indeed.
Actually, we might want to stay.
How far in advance do people know that they're in the lottery?
Well, if you live here, then you're in the lottery. It's simple as that.
Ah.
And if you stay
what
for
I'm-
more than a month, then, well, then those who rent rooms or put people up are asked to report the fact that you have been here for more than a month and are now eligible to participate.
See. So even one such as yourself, do you not live in fear that your entire business would be lost since you would have to
Well, if they take my life, I really won't be giving it two shites about the old three flags. I'll tell you that. I'll be off
Surely
onto the
family
afterlife.
members I'm sure many are living in fear of this.
Oh, just about all of us, love. Unless you've got the coin, as your rather shady-looking friend
hello?
pointed out.
I'm sorry.
Half that.
Whoa, everybody's
There you
robot.
Whoa,
yeah,
it
everybody
sounded
went
like
robot.
robots went crazy for a moment there.
Well, scanning the room, is there anybody that's that may be listening into our conversation?
Go ahead and give me a perception.
I really don't think people are following us around listening to us. We do this like 3 or 4 times a session.
For once it's you.
As you guys walked in, heads turned, people kind of gave you an up down. But pretty much after that, they went back to their stews and their mugs. You also, with a 22, note that in here, unlike the Luskin where you were last night, you don't really see any of the armed purple sash type of individuals that you saw last night. Currently in here, they all appear to be fishermen who have already come back from working the early mornings for a lunchtime meal before they slunk home. But no one seems to be paying
Well-
you any great amount of attention beyond the conversation that you're having.
Were you good friends with Mistress Ferrick?
Oh
I know that
no,
her
no,
boat
no,
was so close to your.
Mistress Ferrick. Oh, yes. On one of the larger boats, the shipping boats. Yes, yes. I know who she was. Indeed. Certainly, she was more well-to-do than would come in for the likes of the Three Flags.
Oh, I'm surprised. It's so close. I guess she was more that Luskin Arms type, huh?
She was indeed.
It's a shame what happened to her. I'm sure you heard.
It is. It does go to show you, though, that no matter how much coin that you spend, fate will catch up with you, one way or the other.
Or zealots.
Well, that's a scary thought, but I guess you could be right.
What of the boy who was last killed
Boy.
in the excuse me, sacrificed.
Ah,
The Larkin boy?
yes.
What did
Sadness. It is a sad thing, but it's hard to say, and I shudder to think without the sacrifice what the rest of us would have to suffer. At least it's not gotten any worse. I hate it, but you can't argue with the fact that things have at least stopped becoming deadly for all of us. Well, you know what I mean.
There's truth in your
no.
words.
Well, I appreciate your time. I'm sure you're very busy.
Well, you do seem to be
And
the adventurous type. If you're really truly concerned about staying out of the lottery, you certainly can take as your straightforward friend here suggested. That would be
But we would have to be.
well, you just need to speak to the individual in charge of the lottery.
who is that?
His name is Scath. A tiefling, actually.
Mhm.
Where would one find
That,
stuff?
Scaff is
Isn't he the speaker or the son of the speaker?
he's
No, it's the guy that the speaker talked to.
Okay.
Yeah.
He got the report from.
I knew it was a name from that. I just didn't know to whom.
Well, Scath
Where
is
does Scath
Scath
differ?
leads.
Yeah.
He leads the. He's the captain of the town militia.
Ah,
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yay.
He's the captain of the guard.
But you can often find him at the Luskin Arms. I do believe he
I think I
actually
saw
keeps
him,
rooms there.
actually.
We will probably move on before there's another
Fish.
thing, another
Lottery.
lottery. But I'm curious. We've heard lots of tales, and one thing I like to do is challenge myself. Lots of tales of this lake monster nearby. You've got fishermen aplenty here. Have you heard any
Fudgy?
authenticity to these tales? Yes, we've affectionately started calling it fudgy.
Fudgy? That's beautiful. Fudgy, you say. Hang on. Larry, come over here. Come over here. Tell these nice folks here what you told us all about the monster on the lake. They're calling it Fudgy. Fudgy. Fudgy.
You
Well.
take the power away from something if you call it a silly name.
Yes.
Until it bites your head off.
Well, yes, but until then.
no.
I'm no wizard. I can't be casting spells on things with a word and taking the power away. But I'll tell you, I didn't see it myself, but we were out fishing on the Mar. oh, excuse me, a little chest, consumption.
As he coughs, I will run up and hug him. This will make you feel better.
Oh,
Two
Reminds-
hugs.
reminds me of my daughter. Oh, and he reaches down and he gives you a big hug back. Oh, isn't that the sweetest thing? Hang on. As he's hugging you back.
Oh.
Diminy crickets, what the hell? Well, you got a condition there, young lady. Well, goodness. You see a cleric about that. Oh, God. The nose and the ears and that ain't right.
I assure you she's fine.
Oh, Lord. Well,
That's my cleric. And I point to Thea.
That's very nice. Yes. Well, um, uh, well, that gave me a start. But I tell you that we were out. That's right. I was telling a story. I was.
Yes. You didn't see it yourself.
Order around so he can tell us the story.
Okay. So as that she brings
That looks
over the kind of the plump gray-haired lady brings over, hands him a pint that she drinks down about half of it in a couple of gulps. Oh my, thanks, Ethan. Brought me right back to myself. It did. Well, so there we were out fishing, pulling in the nets, when through the fog and through the mist that comes up off of that cold water, a ship, dead, adrift, becomes clear out of the mists. And we could see not a soul on it, I tell you, not a single soul. But on the side of it, large as you could ever imagine, bigger than a man across, something had taken a bite right out of it. So we brought around and we looked at the other side, and lo and behold, two more giant bite marks right out of the side of this here fishing vessel. And not a man seen, abandoned. And I tell you, it's not like you're swimming in that water. Oh, sir. So if they weren't on the boat, they were either dead at the bottom, frozen solid as you could please, or in the belly of some massive beast. Truth. Fudgy. I'm going to use that one. Fudgy. Yeah.
What a terrifying tale.
Indeed.
It's put
Must
me off
be
my
really
lunch, I'll
tough.
tell you that for nothing. Did you say something, Lass? I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. Over my the chills I had.
I must see it for myself.
Well, you all seem quite capable in a fight. So well armed and muscled, and as he looks up at Dodvin, and large. I wish you
I
well.
like flex.
Yes, fearsome indeed. If you'd excuse me now, though, my stew's getting cold, and my fellows would love to hear. It's called Fuji. Yeah.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Yes, well, yes, that's good. Good luck to you. Good luck to you.
After he leaves, so we have a choice. We can go look for Fudgy, see if that's a real thing. It seems to be.
Yeah.
Or we can continue investigating these murders, and these murders are giving me a headache.
I know.
Well, the thing, we've got two choices in regards to in my mind, the murders. We have days before another one potentially happens. If our person who's doing them is indeed in the next town, that would, if it's Bremen, if we're following the path correctly, I think we should go there to try to find this traveling caravan, because if they're doing it, they might know who the next victim is. Maybe we can stop it,
Yeah,
etc.
I thought the murders were only happening in East Haven, Bryn Shander, and Targos.
Right, but the pathway seems to suggest that maybe Bremen is the next one, but it's not a sacrifice town, so they may not be going there. Yeah, I see your point there. Yeah, I don't know. I was counting on heading towards Bremen for the fourth potential murder, but yeah, didn't know when I had that in my head that these were related to the sacrifices.
Bremen, honestly, we were attracted to there because it could be the next stop on Torga's merchant company, but also Fudgy the lake whale. So
yeah, And the out crossing thing, the red mark on the map is there as well, which we just learned was because they're having all sorts of troubles here, which could be related to Fudgy. So it's one or the other. We've got days to kill potentially either way.
Right.
We could fill our days with searching and investigation.
Or we could go check out Fudgy and then come back.
Right.
I vote for Fudgy.
Yeah. There and I put my elbow down on the table and I go, there are no taverns on the lake.
How do you know?
I grew up around here. I've never seen a tavern on the lake.
If I was a tavern owner, I would put it right at the lake.
We need a boat to go on the lake.
After you pass the frozen part, yeah.
I'm not really good on the water.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done ice fishing, but
We're not
Not a
going
water
on the
person.
water until we go out to Bremen anyway, at least theoretically.
Mhm.
if there's a creature that's supposedly predator that's hunting in the lake, it's going to require us to go on the water.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, that's if we decided we wanted to face it. I feel like at this point we're just more researching it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we
Well-
research it enough, we'll end up running into it, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have to fight it at that point.
We might not have a choice, yeah, if we run into it. But let's decide on our next destination. Are we going to continue investigating or hanging out in town? We have 6 days before the next pick.
How long
I
will
think
it
there's
take us? How long would it take us to get to Bremen and back? Geographically speaking.
Who you asking there?
You.
Well, Bremen should take you about 3 hours of travel to reach, assuming that you are walking, due to the fact that the road or the trail has been kind of wiped away. However, you guys have Axebeak and Dog Sled, so you could probably make it to
Yeah.
Bremen in about an hour and a half, probably half the time.
Yeah. See,
That's-
so we go to Bremen, we check our
Yeah.
stuff out, and then we can come back. That way we're
Yep.
not just hanging around for 6 days.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
Let's do it.
I like
Alright.
this.
Okay. All right. So as
Maybe we'll find a Fudgy tour guide.
Exactly. You get like stars maps, you know, like
Fudgy was spotted here.
right.
All right. All right. So heading out, you guys are leaving the tavern.
Yep.
And heading back out onto the streets.
Yeah. I did tip her, by the way. I marked it off in case that's ever important.
Sure. Remind me if it ever becomes relevant. Okay, so heading back out onto the streets, it is now probably almost twilight, and actually to the point of what you've come to know as the brightest part of the day. There's actually a few people moving about on the streets as you guys start to make your way back towards the gate that you had originally entered into the city, and making your way back towards the stables where you had put your mounts and sled up.
Yep.
Approximately halfway, you pass where passing Trigo and getting back towards pretty much the center of town, right around here. As you see an individual walking in front of you, kind of smaller, but from a side street, out step several individuals with this either a sash across their chest or around their waist,
Shit.
purple, and you hear them yell out, "Bend, turn! You will stand and halt, and face judgment." And you can see them kind of move up to this individual who had been walking, the smaller individual in front of you. It's either, at first you thought maybe it was a child, but maybe it was a halfling.
They're not talking to us then.
They're not talking to you. And you see him kind of turn around as 6 of these sashed individuals just come out and kind of surround him. You're able to overhear over the wind, and even at this distance, you're accused of heretical items found in your possession at your shop, and you will be taken in custody for your heresies against the Frostmaiden. And this is preposterous. That is such nonsense. I have done nothing wrong. If I've done anything wrong, it's that I've spoken out against the oppressive rule of the speaker.
Is the leader of the guards present, or is it just 6 guards?
Give a perception.
A perception, my best ability. Actually, it is.
You say you should have a crit one as a. There you
Nat 20.
go. You recall, Roanoke. You recall that she had mentioned that that the leader of the town militia, Scath, was a tiefling. So you look to see if you can see any horns or tail visible through the hoods and whatnot of the individuals who are in front of you, and you feel pretty confident that looking at all of these, that if they were there, you would see them. So you're almost 100% sure that none of these guardsmen, militia here, are in fact a tiefling.
So how is this playing out? I don't want to jump the gun here.
As you are kind of checking this out, you can hear him professing his innocence, and a smaller, people have stopped. There are some people out on the street, so as they're stopping, this small Ben Tieran individual who they are now looking, and they've now grabbed, and they've put his arms behind their back. And another guardsman has manacles, and he's in the process of wrestling these manacles onto him.
While this is going on, I'm going to go, guard, and I'm going to walk over. I'm going to run over, actually.
Okay.
And I'm going to go point to the docks and say, I just saw someone accosted by another individual that had an ice knife, just like the person who was killed a month ago. That way. Come, I'll show you.
Roll a deception.
This is definitely not my wheelhouse. Deception. Oh, it wanted to be a 20.
So close.
They kind of look at you and Ben Turn is sitting there and almost oblivious to you, and he's fighting it off, and he's yelling at the people who are looking at him, and this is just tyranny. My only crime is speaking out against the oppression and the iron fist that we're being forced to live under. Wake up, people! This could be you. And at that point, they kind of put their hand over his face, and the individual, because with your 24 perception, you notice that the guy that you're trying to tell this to, the 2 that are closest to you, they're looking around. You can see him kind of looking around to gauging the crowd. And he looks back at you and he's like, well, it's all well and good. We'll take care of that. Thanks. Move on now. Move on. We're about our business.
There's somebody that's about to be murdered.
I
And
thought
you're
you.
just going to let that
I
happen?
thought you just said that they had been.
They are in the process of being right now. Come, you have to. I need to show you before somebody is died.
Look, I don't know what kind of game you're playing with your poor chance to deceive me, but
Hey,
unless you want to be joining Ben here, you'll leave us alone. We'll come by there. Why don't you go stand over at the docks and we'll come by and check it out.
do I get anything from the high perception I just rolled that gives me an indication about how the crowd feels about what's going on?
Yeah, there's yes, you do. Give me though an insight with advantage, because you're seeing a lot, and let's see. That's the insight will tell us how much you are able to read it. You're getting a lot of information from the crowd,
All right.
so that's why you're going to get advantage on the insight check.
I just lost my character sheet. What the hell?
Rebecca, did you want to ask something?
I wanted to know how large the crowd is.
They're on this, kind of back a little bit and whatnot, but you can see. God, I can't even read these dice. Do
19 and 11.
a quick count.
It's a 17.
A quick count. You get there are 14 or so people on the street.
Are they like clustered?
They're kind of no, they're not really all pulled together. They're probably all within let's say 20 to 30 feet of this tight little circle of guardsmen now around this halfling that they've kind of taken into custody. Anything further than that, you wouldn't be able to hear, or really with just the general noise and the wind on the streets.
Mm-hmm. Would it be possible? I would like to try to blend in with the crowd, like hide, and try to be like, "Well, that's not right. How could they?" Like in different voices, and just like run around trying to be like, "Yeah, they should let him go," kind of thing.
Okay. Give me a stealth. Okay. And then
Nice.
19.
19, yep.
I'm trying to think. Would this be a
Good start. Good
a
start.
performance? Why'd you give me a performance?
Yeah.
Bless
Sentai.
you.
Insight.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
22!
Okay. All right. So let's resolve this first.
Can perform?
So Roanoke,
Yes.
with you looking, around at the crowd, you get a sense that some of them are just they're scared, right? You get this, I'm not going to get involved with this. This is, nothing I want to be have anything to do with. But you also see a splattering here and there of people who are indignant by what they're seeing and not happy about it. And even just because your proximity to them and you're looking at not only the crowd but the guardsmen that you've been talking to, they want to get off. You feel like they feel like they've noticed those people who are indignant and not happy about it. And they're trying to move this along and get off the street with it before something happens.
I'm going to look over towards Dodvin, and I'm going to be like, "This isn't right. Let him go." And I looked at Dodvin. Dodvin, let him go. Come on, join in. Let him go.
Okay. So when Zira starts to maneuver through the crowd, this isn't right. this is terrible. You know, unless
Sorry,
you, Windsor, do you want to like elaborate how you're doing it, or do you want me to butcher it? I mean, I'm seeing Genie from animated Aladdin. You know.
Yes.
A little popping up between people's legs.
Yeah.
You should let him go. This isn't right. We should stop this. It's enough. This is a passion.
I'm following that lead and trying to start the chant.
Okay.
Half lives matter.
Oh, we're all going to hell for that one.
Come on, Dodman. You're the paladin. You got the charisma. Let's go.
What kind of items could somebody have that would cause them to be arrested?
Oh, good
What
point.
could be so bad that it gets you arrested just having items in your shop?
Yeah. So
Dodman,
the
somebody steal your tongue?
so the joint, what all of this kind of the culmination, you see the people are starting to nod, like even then. So Dodvin, are you saying anything?
I'm doing exactly what my character is doing. I'm just standing there waiting.
Okay.
So, guard, what kind of items could this guy possibly have that could get him arrested? He seems like a swell enough guy to me.
All right. So while the large Goliath stands in imposing fashion, kind of waiting to see how this plays out, the new member of the party, a very sickly looking small little human man, walks up with all kinds of pluck and demands answers from the arresting guardsman. So why don't you go ahead and give me a intimidation check, but do so with advantage. With advantage,
no.
because of the efforts of the rest of your party. I don't know what the perception's for.
Oh, oops! I rolled the wrong one.
That's okay.
I'll be right back.
That would have been a.
So
The second one would have been a 5.
Your intimidation is -2.
But I still got a 16.
But you still got a 16. That's awesome. So the scrawny little annoying little man walks up, and you can see that the guardsman who did this, who looks at you, and he'd rather just punch you in the face than have to deal with you. But he starts to look around at the unrest that your party has fostered in the crowd, and gets a little bit nervous. And well, it was sufficient evidence, and but perhaps. Excuse me?
Oh, I'm holding the die roll.
It's all robot voice for me right now.
Yeah.
I got nothing but robot there.
Okay, hang on.
I got nothing since the dice rolls. Sorry, man.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You're back now, but
Yeah,
I think that
everybody's
was
back.
Discord.
I think it's just Discord.
Yep. Okay. So, all right. So let's see. I'll do it again. So the scrawny little.
Oh. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, there's all kinds of havoc going on, huh?
Yeah.
So the scrawny little wizard with a big cloak that's he's dwarfed in, kind of walks up to this guardsman and gives him what for. The guardsman looks like he'd just rather punch you in the face than deal with you. The crowd is now kind of in unrest, and he's hearing, grumblings and anger, and he does the quick math. There's quite a few people on the street, and this is, this is a different thing. And so as he looked, he goes, well, there was evidence. There was indeed evidence, but I don't know. I was told to come out, and well, perhaps we can check our orders again, and well, all right, we'll release him for now. But we know where you are. We know where your tannery is, Ben Tier. Don't think that this is over by any stretch of the imagination. Come, fall in, men. Let's go speak to the captain about this.
After they leave, I go up to the Goliath. I look all the way up to his full height and say, "Great, nice job having our back." And then
I had your
over,
back.
and I walk over. I ignore him. I walk over to the guy who is they were accosting, and I say, "You might want to pack up your stuff and leave, because I don't think that's going to happen twice."
You see him kind of taking off his, rubbing his wrists, and he's like, I think you might be right, but I fear that the same might be true for you as well.
That's okay.
What do you think they would have? What do you think they said they found? What could you have had that would cause this?
What I have is my opinions, my words against Speaker Maxel Danner.
And what are those?
That is a tyrant. Speak out against him, disagree with any of the way that he's running things, and suddenly you're a heretic.
What happens to heretics?
Well, that's a question, isn't it?
Disappear?
I believe so. We haven't seen anyone that has been branded as such. Granted that this is the boldest I've seen them snatching anyone off of the streets. I'm not too pleased that it was me, I can tell you that.
So
That was fun. As I appear right next to Dobbin.
You came out of nowhere.
I do certainly owe you my thanks. But I think you're right, good sir. I think it's time for me to pack up and leave. Perhaps I can go stay with a cousin in East Haven. He'd take me in, I think.
what is your name, sir?
Ben Turn. I run the tannery. Though lately things have not been very busy. It won't kill me to shut down for a while.
So Ben Turn in East Haven. If we're ever there, we'll go look you up.
Yes, please do. My cousin, Shira. Shira Turn.
All right. So I go back over to Dobbin and I go, "Did I misunderstand what happened? It just seemed like you didn't want to be involved, or was that the pixelation kind of interrupted what happened and I didn't hear?"
No, that was not the pixelation that interfered with your tiny little ears. It is not my job to interfere with the law here when I don't know all the facts. So leave me be. I was backing up my friends, you included, and I poke him in the face. So back off. It is not my place.
Well, if we're your friends, then you'd back us up.
I was backing you up. I was standing right here.
I was looking for a little bit of support with you and your.
And
giant
I did
charisma.
not feel it was my place to get involved.
I'll remember
They were
that
the
next time you're in trouble.
They were the law. I don't know what this guy had done.
I wave my hand in his face and I go, "Enough with your stupidity," and I walk away. Great teamwork. Where are we going next?
Mitch, I'm not going to go there.
Wait, are you taking this out of game? Really?
Come
No.
on, guys, come on.
Yeah, really. Come on. Let's grow up here.
I'm gonna walk up to the Goliath and be like, "Hey, friend, just calm down. Calm down. I think what he's more getting at is that, from what we've heard, is that it seems like these heresy charges don't seem right in the first place. So that's why he stepped in, and he's just a little angry that he didn't have his back. And I understand where he's coming from. I know you.
If the police or the guards had bothered us, I would have stepped in.
I know. I get it. I get it.
A paladin?
But
Really?
you are a paladin. You are a man of laws. I know that. I know you're. I know that paladins are. You are You will not.
A paladin of Kelemvor.
So somebody
Think
has
about
a
it.
sash. Somebody has a sash, and you're just going to blindly follow them if they're about to
I am,
drag somebody off
I am
the
not
streets.
blindly following them. I am just
right.
obeying the law.
You know,
I
wait, did
totally
I break the law? Did I break the law? Did Winzira break the law, or did we come to somebody's aid without breaking the law? Did anybody take a weapon out of their sheaths? Did
No,
anybody cast a spell? We were
No.
using the crowd and inspiring them, and several people here did that and
I
contributed to it.
understand that.
And I was looking to you for some aid, and I'm very insulted that you, and very disappointed also, that you just basically stood there with your arms crossed while this person was
Be
being accosted.
disappointed. Be disappointed. Kelemvor will judge me.
Well, he's
Kelemvor
not
will
going to
judge
judge
you
me.
at the end as well.
I'll judge
We
you
all
too next
meet
time you need my
Kelemvor.
help. You're a sad paladin.
That doesn't go out of character for a paladin, to be honest with you. And at least the ones I've met.
Especially the paladin of this alignment of this god,
Wait, stay in
etc.
game. Stay in game.
I am. I'm trying. That's why I was
All right.
referencing Kelemvor.
All right. Where's our next quest? See if we can all get on the same page for that one. Where's our next mission? We're gonna go and
Have to get out of town for the day or two, you know.
we might need to go out of town. Actually, it might be a good idea.
Probably going to be a good idea. There's some more things I wanted to do.
We'll be back. We have 6. What? How many days do we have?
6 days. 6 days.
Yeah.
But there's some questioning I wanted to do of probably not a good idea to talk to the captain now. I really wanted to talk to him before the lottery happened.
I thought about that too, but if we had, I figure that if we question and ask the wrong questions, he probably would try to lock us up right there. This guy sounds like
That's
Yeah,
true.
we were warned
Pretty
against
extreme.
talking to the captain. So yeah.
that might not be such a good
But
idea.
no, I was never warned against talking to the captain. I don't remember that.
By
They one of the ladies, I think it was the plump innkeeper, maybe it was the sad depressed one who was somebody told us way back a session or two ago, because I had originally said, why don't we talk to maybe it was one of you guys. I was like, why don't we ask the town guard, the captain of the guard, information? And everybody was like, no. So maybe it was just me.
No, that's
I think
prudent.
it
That's
was
prudent.
The speaker. I think it was the speaker that we were against talking.
The speaker. That's right, the speaker.
Yeah,
My apologies.
Yep.
Well, if we're not rounded up when we return, I mean, we could give it a shot.
But that was fun. We should do that more often.
Did the halfling already run off?
Oh yeah, actually, when you guys the voices started being raised between very large individuals, he took off very quickly, blended away, and the crowd quickly also dispersed after the tension of the aborted arrest.
Maybe we should make haste.
Yeah, and you're not far.
Well, we were heading out of town anyway.
Yeah, it only takes a few minutes.
Tara, you look like you're trying to say something. I think you're muted.
Shit.
If
Yeah.
if we weren't paying attention to you, that's why. I just realized that you were talking and we couldn't hear you.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're going to Bremen. Yeah, we were going to Bremen. That's where we were going. We were heading to Bremen.
Okay, time to go to Bremen.
Sorry, I muted it because my kid. Sorry, and I forgot to turn it back on.
Happens every game.
All right,
For
I will
somebody.
meet you guys at the stables. I'll be right back. I'll be right with you. I'm gonna go tell my partner that I will be back in a day or two.
Well, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
And you're certainly your own man. You can make your own decision. But if those purple sashes show up with you on your own, they might try to haul you in because you were with our little group. Maybe you send your little buddy. You have.
I mean, I can do that. I guess.
I mean, if
Pull
you
out a
want to
piece
go
of
by yourself, that's fine. I'm just saying, if we're gonna leave, we should all go.
I'll pull out a piece of parchment real quick. Jot down let her know that I'm gonna be gone on investigation a couple days out of town, and then send my owl again.
Hootie?
Okay.
No, blowfish.
Oh, blowfish.
All right. You guys start making your way towards the stables that to the left of the, actually going this way, to the right of the gate that you came in. You see the guardsmen are still there, but now being the kind of the brightness of the day, the portcullis is actually been raised, and they are allowing folks to come in and out. As you approach the stables, the stable hand, younger boy, with, instead of a hood, he's got a scarf kind of all wrapped around his head, and you can see he's got goggles on. He looks like the Invisible Man, wrapped up from the cold. Just looks at you and immediately knows by you, and he leads you over to a door. He pulls it back, and in there you can see your axe beaks. They are the only things in this room. You hear him through his muffled.
I hand him the chiclet he gave me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you hear him through this muffled thing. He's like, "We don't get a lot of these here, so we fed them best they could. They bite, sir."
I am apologize for the axe
That's
beaks
so good.
biting, and I pull out a silver and I hand it to him, and I'm saying, "I'm sorry for your trouble."
Thank you. And he goes to hand it, and you notice there's a little bit of blood on the outside of his hand there. And
Is it frozen blood, like fresh wound that
no,
is
it's
frozen
like
over,
it's in
or
his mitten. You can just see it on the side of his mitten.
okay.
But you see, another couple hands push out your sled and lead your dogs out on their on leads out to you guys. It takes you a minute to kind of get them situated and harnessed up to the sled, and
I'm gonna make sure I wait for my owl before.
yeah. And your owl comes back in plenty of time while you guys are dealing with the tack on the sled and putting the what passes for saddles. They're not really saddles. They're more like just kind of thick leather belts with a horn on it onto the axe beaks. You get a reply back, kind of hastily scratched on there. Understood. And will continue to look for information you requested.
And on the sled, on the dog sled thing, I'm guessing there's like a thing that comes up in front of you. I'll have my owl sit on that.
Okay. Okay. So heading out of Targos.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
She's yelling at the kid.
I figured it. It's
sorry
okay.
about that.
No, it's okay.
She was trying to take cookies in the room.
Yeah, they're not allowed to have food in the room.
She failed her stealth check.
Mm-hmm. Mommy has
They
a
always-
really high perception.
Yeah, your mom, the mommy passive perception is like a 19, man. So
Yeah.
all right, so heading out. Let's see what the weather is. Ooh. Weather's bad. So you start to head out. You can see where the road that used to lead to Bremen is. You follow your map and begin to move that direction. You don't get very far before the light that you've been enjoying suddenly seems to get darker, and you look as these large clouds are starting to move across where the sun should be at the low horizon where the kind of that dim kind of light is, making it prematurely dark. And I guess we could take a break. Does anybody need a break?
Oh, that's right, a break. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
let's take a
Certainly
quick
wouldn't
break,
mind.
and we'll use that as the stopping point. And when we come back, you guys have just left to head to Bremen.
Fantastic.
Sounds good.
Just so you know, I'm going to make sure that as we leave, I go ahead and just cast Mage Armor.
Okay.
Trip.
Yep. Cool. Make it so.
What were you saying?
All right. So, as you begin your trek, you are all well familiar enough with the snowstorms that can blow down off of the spine of the world at any given moment, especially underneath the wrath of the Frostmaiden. And when the wind begins to howl, you fear that you have all run into one of these blizzards.
Awesome.
Uh-oh.
All right, I suggest we go back to our rope navigating.
Well, you're on.
That's true.
Yeah, that'll be a tiny bit harder.
Oh, sorry, it took me a second to find it.
Oh. Nice, moody.
That's pretty ominous.
Indeed.
I cast fairy fire.
Okay, you can,
Into the dark.
but you know that it does not last for very long.
Light, I think, was the way to go.
Yeah, but it's each object within a 20-foot cube, range is 60 feet.
It only lasts
Only
up to a
for
minute.
a minute.
Ow.
I'm going to cast light on the end of my staff and have it kind of wedged in.
I'm just saying, light sucks when you're in a blizzard.
Well,
That's all I got though.
not for losing each
Yeah.
other.
Do I get a feeling that my owl really doesn't want to be at all? That I should go ahead and dismiss him into his little pocket dimension?
Telepathically, is it she, he, it?
She.
She lets you know in no uncertain terms that you'll be able to fly in this, as the gusts of wind are picking up 20 miles an hour.
Telepathically,
Yeah.
as we to what?
I was using her to use her perception, but if I get a feeling that she would rather be in her pocket dimension right now in the middle of a blizzard, I'll go ahead and put her.
I think I want to be in a pocket dimension.
Right?
All of your vision at this point has now been reduced to about 100.
All right. I will not lead heavily in front of the group. I'm going to stick right up in front of whoever the person is who's second rank.
Okay.
And I'm going to light my my big lantern, my hooded lantern. It's not going to be great in a blizzard, but it's better than nothing. So that we don't, if anybody strays. Lantern.
Who had the bullet?
I had a
one?
lantern as well, but I gave it. I'm sure you gave it back though.
It's in the it was in
Yeah.
the supplies on the sled.
Okay.
Right, because you had given it to Al, but it's lashed currently to the.
I can
All right.
unlight anybody wants. See, I don't mind.
Magic light.
Yes.
We have two
Magic
magic
light's
lights,
good.
in fact, and your
Yeah.
lantern and my lantern. We've got 4 light sources, so
All right, we're able to at least reasonably be able to see each other. Just hang on and stay close. I'll slow my pace because I won't be I'm not slowed if I'm on my own, but I'll slow my pace to.
Okay.
Halfway. So we're fairy fired and lighted.
They can see us from orbit.
I would say, if you did not want to actually cast Fairy Fire, that you could save that spell slot if you would so choose.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so you start to make your way, taking the precautions that you can. Um, damn, I really wish I had. I want to share with you guys a picture. So I'm gonna vamp a little bit here as I try to get it into Roll20 to share with you. You make through this. I need you to be the navigator.
Well, that we are a ranger.
I thought that was Rook.
Yeah.
Well, I don't assume. That's why I will ask it every time who would the party be thing, unless you want to always make it Roanoke.
Shall I navigate him?
Yes.
I vote
All
for
right,
yes.
I'm navigating. All right.
All right, so
And
Roanoke.
then I'm a little bit to the right of the sled, not as far forward as Roanoke. Kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in the back.
I'm still on the sled.
I'm driving the sled.
I'm like burying myself in blankets.
And Filbert is probably sleeping in the sled.
Oh, that's right. We got Filbert. Filbert's on his own. Whatchamacallit?
Chocobo? Axpeak?
Axpeak, yeah. What'd you
Yeah.
call it?
Chocobo?
Chocobo.
Where the hell is that from?
Final Fantasy.
Ah, yes, it's Final Fantasy.
Chocobo racing.
Wait, we might get a copyright hit.
I didn't sing enough of it.
I think you can sing anything you want. I just don't think you can use the actual.
Not if you sing like I do.
Manzeri, if you need more bedrolls or anything along those lines, I have extra. I don't need them right now to keep warm.
Ugh. Ah. Oh, snap. Something's trying to come up. It's trying.
I was trying to zoom in on the picture.
There we
There
go.
it is. Oh no, it's a Yeti.
It's a Yeti!
No thank you. No thank you. No thank you.
It's a Yeti!
Yeah, that's not what we want.
Oh, God! That's the one that ate my mom! Wait, I should rephrase that. Excuse me. The one that killed my mom. No idea if he ate her.
God damn it. Um,
Two.
so I want you to roll a survival check to see your navigator
Can
keeping the
I
party
You can
on
do it.
track.
use bardic inspiration to be like, don't get us lost?
Do that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I already get an extra +2, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna roll my. I don't get advantage. I'm just getting an extra die 4. Is that what it is? For inspiration.
From the inspiration.
All right. So let me just roll.
And you can choose after you see the roll whether or not you need it.
Oh, so I got generic inspiration. How nice. All right. Let's first start with this roll. I don't think I'm going to use it.
Nice.
Nice.
Thankful.
23.
Yeah. So that ought to do it. Your ranger, showing skill through the snow, having chilling, fighting into. You can back up and see him out in front, periodic off of his tauntaun X-Beak and fighting it by hand. Snow, and he can use to make sure that you're moving in the mission. And with some kind of innate sense, he's able to guide you unerringly.
Press on.
Go ahead and roll for me, the group. Everyone roll for me a perception at disadvantage, except
Okay.
for Roanoke. Roll it normal because you're
Do
normal.
I get the extra efficiency or no?
You would actually. So actually, you know what? You hang on a second. Do you not roll at disadvantage?
So we're rolling perception at advantage.
Disadvantage.
I'm
Disadvantage.
seeing a lot of disadvantage. Okay,
Yeah, because of the
disadvantage.
howling of the
So-
wind and whatnot.
I got a 20, even with disadvantage.
Nice.
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 I got a 5 because I buried my head in the blankets.
Well, if I got a 10, but I don't know if am I rolling anything different here?
No, that's perfect. You did it. The 10 is just right.
Damn. An 8.
I was so glad I rolled poorly when somebody else rolled a 20.
Well,
Perfect timing.
your
I can't find that picture of the Yeti. Where is that? Such a cool picture. How did I lose it?
So even though your ranger is focused on keeping you guys on track, over the top of the howling of the winds, Thea, you actually hear something on the wind. You can't really
Whoa.
get a sense for how far off it is, but it comes to you the first time, and you feel you're not 100% sure that if you actually heard it truthfully or not. However, when you hear it a second time, you feel confident that you have indeed heard.
It's a
I don't think I was able to hear the full spectrum of that sound with the speaker that I have.
That's probably
Some of the-
exactly how it sounds
Yeah.
in the wind.
Right?
yeah.
True.
Lost, and you'll continue on for the better hour. What do you guys at this point?
Well, I am definitely looking out for fucking Yetis since I heard
Yeah.
something screaming.
We definitely have to keep an eye out for them.
Either that or it was a dragon. I don't know. It was growling.
Great.
not-
What we need right now is a dragon.
Could possibly be a bear, maybe?
No
Or a lake
way.
monster. Maybe it's Fudgy.
No, it's a Yeti.
See, I'm with you.
It's a Yeti. I'm gonna have traumatic flashbacks.
So,
I'm
I
sorry
might
to hear
black out
that.
temporarily.
you've given about an hour of the what you'd estimate to be, an hour and a half of travel time. You're probably more than 2/3 of the way to Bremen. The weather does not appear to be slacking any. What would you like to do? Would you like to continue to try to press on for that last little bit? Knowing that you're probably
yeah,
pressing
I
your
don't feel like-
mounts a little bit.
Probably rest just
We have to take time off for the
The mount.
the mounts.
It won't cause them physical harm, but they will take a level of exhaustion.
I think we can rest them.
That's also
Yeah.
true. Feel confident we're within spitting distance, so to speak. I'm saying
Not
this
in
to
this-
Roanoke.
Spitting distance? No.
Well,
Not in this weather.
Within
How
an
far are
hour.
we? Within an hour?
Roanoke,
With
you
the
would
Yeti.
you feel very confident with your 23 of survival roll there. You are probably very close to the 2/3.
We can make it.
I think we should press on. I was very
Yep.
terrified by that roar. I
While
know
all
you-
that while all that discussion is happening, I'm gonna be ritual casting snowshoes on myself just in case we get waylaid.
You don't have snowshoes?
Who doesn't?
No,
who doesn't
I have a spell. I don't need physical snowshoes.
Yeah.
I'm a
oh,
wizard. I can I have magic. I don't need such.
What is your magic?
I'm sorry. I thought maybe you'd want to save some of your spells for something useful instead of
I'm
something that you can
ritual
buy at the
casting.
store.
Ritual casting does not take a spell slot. If you had the intelligence I did, you would know that. I would. I'm not wasting any spells because I can do it as a ritual. I don't have to use my spells that I have for the day to do that.
What kind of spell is this? This is something wondrous.
Yes, it is. It's a very nice spell, but I can only do it on one person. Time, I believe.
What is it?
Like, hold on a second. Let me take a
No,
look here.
no,
Does it
no.
allow you to fly?
It's not.
Oh no, I don't. No, it's not. It's not concentration.
Can you turn into a
I
bear?
I can actually put it here. I'll go ahead and explain it to you.
It's in the chat.
There you go. It's I would just touch you and then
Oh, I don't want you
duration-
touching me.
For an hour you can travel through difficult snow and ice as if you're not.
I think I like my actual snowshoes.
Yeah, but you leave a trail.
Yeah.
And the Yeti can get you that way, so that's nice.
That's an interesting spell.
But we have
Yes, it's one I
dogs.
concocted myself. It's actually it's a Hendrick spell. I crafted it myself.
It's named after you, Hendrick Snowshoes.
Yes,
So you created this spell.
I sure did.
And if nobody's going to come up and say, "Hey, you're stealing my thunder," I made that spell, and you're taking my.
No, I did it for my graduation. That was my spell for that's what's graduated me into my guild.
I think I had you all wrong. That's pretty impressive. That could be very useful up here.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
You're still not going to survive without us. Oh.
Wait, I'm a little confused. Who's got the 8 charisma in this exchange?
I got 6.
Okay, 6.
No, neither of us.
Okay, great.
I don't have 8. I got 6.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Thank you for
I got a 12, but you wouldn't know it. I guess if I halved it, yeah.
Cool. All right. So while you take the 10 minutes to do that, the animals kind of get a little bit of a breather and a respite, and pretty much get the benefit of a short rest on their own as well.
Oh, nice.
It's a little on the shorter side, but you guys haven't been out that long, so. All right, so after 10 minutes, you feel the kind of arcane energy coalesce around your feet, and you're able to kind of like do a little dance. Roanoke, you do note that he is indeed not leaving a discernible trail on the snow.
Oh, that's very, very helpful. I'm not sure it'll help us against the Yeti, but it certainly would help us. At least you're not going to sink into the snow. We're not going to have to rescue you.
You also notice, though, within 30 seconds of your footsteps are blown away by the blizzard. So there's that.
Yeah.
All right, so you press on. go ahead and give me, just for that last little bit, Roanoke, give me one more survival check to make sure that you guys make the final.
11
All right.
plus.
Well.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
There you go.
Nice.
Thank you, Linsira. Let's see. It's a die 4 or die 6?
Dice 6, I believe.
It's
Right.
a 6.
Yeah.
All right. So I have an
Nice.
11 so far because I doubled my proficiency. So 14.
The
That
DC.
didn't suck.
The DC. 14.
I don't know what the DC is.
14. No, I'm telling you.
14?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
Nice.
your
Nice.
bardic inspiration puts you over.
Linsira saves the day again.
Day.
Um,
Through chattering teeth.
as you start to, the cold maybe is starting to catch up with you a little bit. You have to look a little bit harder this time. That wind, that cross breeze, the blizzard, and the bitingness of the wind, even through your thick winter clothing, you can feel it through. And through tattering teeth, just as you're about to head off in the wrong direction, you catch yourself and you right the course, looking around and making sure that nobody noticed it. You are able to lead the party the last of the way to the city of Bremen. And as you at last begin to approach, the wind is still howling. There are a scattering of trees at the outset of Bremen, but it's not the warm sight that you had hoped for. The town is but a huddle of cabins that have seen better days, contrasted to the distant corpse of pine trees that is providing at least some bit of shelter from the blizzard. As you approach the town, you notice fishermen still trying to sit around holes in the ice, trying to bring up a catch, but with a look of frustration. Although you can't make out the words because of the howling of the wind, you can hear someone being berated down at the docks. And with that, let me bring up the map of Bremen.
All these fishing towns looks the same.
This one, not
How
so
how
much.
frozen is that ice? Is that river?
As you approach, there is a river that you need to cross over. It appears to actually have a bit of a flow to it. You can hear the water rushing through a narrow trench, and you can see that the water is still moving underneath this top layer, saying that it's rather deep. There is a bridge just below the map here. See where that in the north is?
I didn't see the ping.
I was on the
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
on the wrong layer.
Oh, there you go.
I was on the wrong
I
layer.
see it. I
Yeah,
see it.
and
Yeah.
there is a bit of a bridge, covered wooden bridge, down at the very bottom. You guys are approaching from down this way. So you're approaching from the bridge. You see the bridge that leads over the river, and you can see just beyond it this small town. You can hear and see, because of the shelter of the trees and the dying down of the blizzard as you guys started to approach, there's movement, and you can hear some kind of muffled shouting going on at the dock up here.
What is that thing on the island?
Some kind of structure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make out it's some kind of structure. It looks to appear to be a building with an attached dock to it.
All right. Well, onward we go.
You're kind of forced to go single file over this covered bridge as you approach it. Investigate, and then your proficiency bonus.
Sweet, nice
21.
roll. Okay, so
I'm getting lucky.
looking at it, Roanoke, you can see that it lasted quite a bit of wind. The one side predominantly being the target. Got almost to be almost one side. Checking out looks ponds that have been driven into the river are quite large, and it looks more stable than the floor did at the Luskin Arms. However, while doing all of that and giving a good look, you notice that there has been someone has carved something into the post. I would love it if I could figure out what the hell is it. God damn it.
I hope.
You
You enter here, yeah.
Oh, hang on just a second. I refuse to go down like this. Not like this. Not like
This.
well, no, I mean, I did a specific thing for this. Sorry, guys.
You're fine.
Take your time.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it, right?
I think so.
It's Satan.
Scribbles.
It's a language.
It's the
No.
devil.
All right, I'm gonna think on this, and this is this pointed out to us, obviously. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
I don't know. Roanoke?
Roanoke.
What? This carving?
Yeah.
Are you showing
What-
the party? Are you bringing this to their
Am
attention?
I showing the party? Of course
Yeah.
I'm showing the party.
Okay.
I'm like,
Alright.
hey, everybody, look at this bridge carving.
Maybe it's perhaps maybe a religious symbol.
Or yeah, is it a language? Is it a religious symbol?
I'll do it.
Go
Can I do a
ahead.
history
Local
check?
graffiti?
Yeah. Go ahead and Hendrik,
Scribbles.
give a
Scribbles.
history check with advantage.
Who?
Hendrik.
Ah.
Or anyone else who wants to, but he gets it at advantage.
21.
Okay.
Nice.
Well,
Nah, I'm okay.
Yeah, I can't beat that.
Henrik, you recognize
I
this.
got the same.
Yeah, and Thea, you do as well. You both recognize that this is the mark that the symbol used by the Arcane Brotherhood.
I thought they were all killed.
Yeah, so did I. That is quite strange. That's as far as I knew, the Brotherhood was dead. Does it seem like a fresh carving? Can I investigate? See like if it seems fairly fresh or if it seems very old?
Yeah, you can investigate it.
Yeah, I'm not. No.
Henrik, when do you think that the Brotherhood was wiped out?
I don't know. I know I read about it, but I'm guessing being from like spending the time in Neverwinter, I would get an idea
Yeah.
that it was it of that like exactly they were wiped out basically around the time that the city was, if I
And-
remember correctly.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
they want you to think.
Yeah, that's what you would have thought. Exactly.
Yeah.
This appears to have been carved since then.
Ah,
Oh wow. Okay. I will relay that. I was like, this is fairly fresh. This is after the Brotherhood should have been gone by the time this was carved.
Who's the
I
Brotherhood?
may have missed. I
It's-
like her question more.
I missed it.
Who's the Brotherhood?
It's
Why is the Brotherhood?
Where is
I'll
the
do you one
Brotherhood?
more better.
Sorry, didn't mean to do it. It was right there.
the Brotherhood was a wizards guild. Mostly in Luskin, but in Neverwinter as well. They they're they were quite a formidable
Okay,
formidable guild.
Henrik.
I know that.
Henrik would know a lot about them. He would be quite well versed with them. So I will help you out a little bit with this.
Okay.
Because you would know quite a bit, especially with your history of 21, and with your background, you would most definitely know quite a bit about them.
Yeah.
So, the Arcane Brotherhood was a company of not only wizards but also mercenaries, and they operated out of a place called the Host Tower of the Arcane, and you are right, in Luskin, which is an island off of the Sword Coast. Um, it was a kind of a very mysterious organization, um, but it was known to be for hire and was not very discerning about who they would work for. There was a history of them trying to seize objects of power in order to make the Brotherhood that much more powerful and more and formidable. Many of the members were known to walk both sides of the alignment tree. They had as many evil members as they did neutral and good. Organizations like the Lord's Alliance, the Harpers, and fuck, why am I being stupid right now and not remember the other main one? Lord's Alliance, the Harpers, and
I know, John, same thing. He's like Mr.
Gauntlet,
Forgotten Realm.
the Order of the Gauntlet.
the Order of the Gauntlet.
Lord's
Thank
Alliance,
you, thank you. Are like kind of opposing groups that have in the past tried to snuff out the Brotherhood, or at least oppose them when they try to make grabs for power.
This is very troubling. Very troubling.
You would
Mickey,
know.
I wanna get off-
lastly, I would say that Thea, you would know that Thea. Shit, it's like once a week, man. I gotta screw
I
it up.
know.
Thea, no, you recall that the Arcane Brother definitely used to have a presence. I mean, your grandmother used to tell you about it. Used it as a bedtime story to scare you to behave, or the Arcane Brotherhood will get you.
Right.
But it was, a long time ago, that they were around up here, and certainly not something recent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting off my mount and I'm gonna walk it across the bridge when we get to that point. But I walk up to the symbol and I'm like, "Is this where you all would have placed this normally, or is it somewhere more hidden? Like, is it meant to be everyone can see it, or is it a little more hidden and he just happened to notice it?"
No, it's definitely something that was not, no, he happened to be did a search and an investigation on this. It was kind of tucked in a spot that
Okay.
you wouldn't see necessarily. But certainly, if you knew where to look for it, it wasn't. It's not hard to see.
Like hobo
Right.
sign.
Yeah.
Deuces.
That's a thing.
It is a thing.
Yeah.
It is a thing,
Yeah.
and it's just like that actually.
Yeah. You know.
Okay.
The symbol means that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's curious.
Good spotting.
I suppose if somebody from the Arcane Brotherhood was setting up a new camp, this backwater frozen town might not be a bad place.
And it makes me wonder if maybe they're the ones that are trying to take over the different towns of 10 towns. Because that is something that I would definitely wouldn't put past them.
Could even be that they're the ones who angered the Frostmaiden.
Something for us to keep in
Possibility.
mind.
Yeah.
They're the boogeymen and the vagabonds.
Dark creatures who walk in the night are the Arcane Brotherhood.
They were once very powerful. I wouldn't. No, I'm not happy to see that symbol, that's for sure.
Indeed.
Hmm.
Well, into town we go, I suppose.
So
Are they
Anya,
going to
where?
be? I just have one quick question that I'm also addressing to you, Henrik. Are they going to be more suspicious of us if we mention our gods, or like in the other villages, the cities, communities, etc.? Or can we, like, how guarded should we be with that information?
Don't know.
Do they?
I don't. Honestly, I don't remember them really being so much for
Caring about that?
religion. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
From what from what I out of character remember, I don't remember
Yeah.
much about them being much for like religion stuff.
Lead on.
as you guys
I
finish to cross over and you step foot on the far side of the Shangarn River, you can see downwards towards the river. You see a few fisher folk kind of on the docks. You're assuming they're fisher folks, seeing that they're on the docks, and there's some boats there tied up to this dock. The water is flowing through the river, and boats are able to make way in and out. It appears that the flow of the river has allowed it to stop it from completely freezing. And you can hear, even in the distance, carried down by the wind, you can hear kind of a, in and out, some shouting. As the wind carries it and then doesn't, and carries it and doesn't, in and out, you kind of hear, certainly sounds like somebody's yelling something from the docks. Other than that, you immediately notice that many of the cottages that you first see here clearly look abandoned. And the door, you can see doors flapping open. You see windows that maybe once held shutters or glass now are just wide open, and snow's kind of drifted up in and around. It looks like a lot of the, at least from what you can see coming, stepping out onto the bank here, looks a little bit deserted.
Interesting.
Waterfront property is not as fantastic when it's freezing cold.
and they might not be a town that's sacrificing warmth, if they're doing those sacrifices at all, because if there's still wood doors flapping around, they're not chopping them off for warmth purposes. So maybe they're sacrificing comfort. If
We should ask someone.
Yes.
yes,
Well, I say we should head to the yelling people.
Yeah, that
Wow.
always winds up good.
I honestly agree. I think it'd be might be a good idea to see what they're yelling about at least. Don't necessarily have to talk to them.
Onward.
Mhm.
All right, so you're heading over. Okay. You guys follow the river,
Line.
if you will, kind of down. It seems that with the wind, it's actually kind of been blown smooth, and you're able to make your way with your mounts, heading down towards the. I'm sorry, I lost my page here. Towards the sound that you on the docks. As you get closer, you're able to make out what looks to be a larger individual. And it's hard to say because he's, like everyone else, very much bundled all up, berating those around him. From what you can hear, he is shouting from the creaking the docks and cursing at a group of what has to be dwarves, judging by their wide shoulders and shorter stature. Now, come on, you lousy good-for-nothings. I've paid you a good coin. I'll pay you more. But we gotta fish this lake. Your superstitious bullshit is not gonna feed our bellies. Now, come on, get out there. Not me. Nope. I'm not doing it. Nope.
I don't blame him.
It's horrible out there right now.
Hearing that, he kind of turns around, and you see what looked like a larger man. As you guys getting closer, you realize it was not. It was another dwarf. Though this one is a little bit taller than most dwarves that you've seen, but the others were actually kneeling down, taking a minute, and this one was towering over him. But as you guys approach the elevated docks, you realize that this is actually another dwarf who's yelling at them. He sees you guys approaching and says out to you, Good, you're here. Get to it then.
I will go run up and hug him and be like, yes, we're here.
Yeah, see, you cowardly little shits. Look at this. Even this wee thing is ready to go on out there and do her part and bring in a catch today. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
What about the monster?
Monster? Oh, not another one. Listen,
I'm
these nilking poops will do anything to get out of work. Don't be giving me none of this malarkey about a monster.
just looking for tavern stories. I pay well.
How much do you pay?
Well,
Depends on the story.
are you asking the dwarf or are you asking Roanoke what he pays?
The dwarf.
Okay. The dwarf looks at Roanoke, goes, I ain't got time to be yapping my gums about no stories. Go find yourself a bard. You, though, my little brave thing.
He's a bar.
5 copper pieces per trout caught. And I tell you what, time is better angling than it is yapping. So get yourself into those boats and get out there. And then you can kind of hear him grumbling under himself. Does anybody speak Dwarvish?
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nope.
Yup.
So,
Yep.
those who can speak Dwarvish, give me a perception.
All right.
Perception.
Oops. I didn't mean to roll it like that, but
Natural 20. Nicely done.
know.
Whoever got that.
So everyone but Thea.
Wait. How did I? I rolled. I rolled a 19. How did that even happen?
No, I rolled a 19.
Yeah, he
Oh.
rolled a 19.
Yeah, Dodvin is the
Oh.
purple.
What the hell did I roll?
You're yellow.
You rolled a 2.
Oh, it didn't show up. That's okay.
Yeah, we've
There
with
it
you.
goes.
Yeah,
All
with
right.
your thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're you don't quite you're distracted by some other things, but the rest of you can and you hear him in Dwarvish, kind of mumbling to himself. Why do I have to be surrounded by these such stupid biglanders and freaking rude and just go.
I'm
It's
going
like,
to say in Dwarvish. I'm going to say in Dwarvish. I was like, we can understand you. So, how about not being such a jerk?
He kind of looks at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reaches in his. You can see him kind of reaching in and pulls out this little bit of flask, and you can see him take a drink out of the flask and puts it back. He's like, well, be that as it may, prove me wrong then. Why don't you get on these 2 boats and get out there and catch some fish, and we can feed some folks today.
I'm not a fisherman.
Now,
I'm sure the reason that you're having such a problem getting people out onto these boats, good
'Cause he's
Sir
a dick?
Dwarf, is due to Fudgy, right?
Fudgy. That's right. Fudgy.
Is that the superstitious stuff that they're afraid of? I will say.
Are you guys
Calmly
speaking
looking at the
still in dwarf, or
No,
did you
common.
switch to common?
Common, definitely. I want the
comment.
whole group to hear.
I'll do
Yeah.
it back and forth just to be a dick. I can understand him, but yeah.
Look, maybe I spoke out of turn, but listen, I got to deal with this lot over here. I got to deal with all these people making up stories about ice monsters and lake monsters, and I got to get the fish in to feed the folks, to feed the people. Otherwise, we're all going to starve, and I'm going to go out of business, which is worse. Now, I've got 2 very good vessels right here that you all need to get on and go out and catch me some fish.
Aye, Captain.
Why don't we
And
go
I
and
hop
see
on
if
a boat.
Why don't we go hunt? Why don't we go hunt Fudgy?
Hold on.
Let's go hunt
Hold
Fudgy.
on. I'm gonna roll an insight check. So 23.
What are you inciting?
Just is he like being for real, or like he legitimately doesn't believe in all these monster stories, and like he just is desperate to feed the town?
He's lying.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
he's lying about what he thinks is, he doesn't know. He but you. Oh my God, I'm all right. He
Hop in a blood
definitely,
vessel.
he is definitely worried about getting the fish in,
Yeah.
but he's lying saying that he doesn't think that there's anything to the stories.
Right. What's your name? Good Sir Dwarf?
Oh,
Say good stuff.
well, I'm Grenzik.
Yes.
Grenzik,
All right. Well,
Grenzik
Grenzik,
Barrelbore. You didn't I speak to you all? Aren't you the people that I hired last night at
No.
the tavern? No,
No.
wasn't you. Oh, Well,
We literally just walked into town.
I could have sworn. Well, I was drunk, and well, I thought that was you.
A dwarf was
An
drunk.
interesting bit of confusion, good sir.
So wait a minute.
Well, the offer
Benzik,
still
you're
stands.
saying-
The offer still
You're
stands.
saying though that you hired a group of people that had a Goliath, a skinny man, and a goblin.
Who's the skinny man?
That's a goblin?
The maid.
Oh shit!
Hi. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
I thought that was
I
some
wanna see Fudgy.
really small halfling.
I'm the same
You
size.
can see he takes another big pull. I don't really remember what they look like, to be honest with you. So it could have been you, couldn't it? Could have. Listen, the offer
Listen,
still
Ben-
stands.
Ben's right. Listen, I am not beyond wanting to help the people of this town. I do know that you do have a heart for that, but I also know that you know that there is something going on. Otherwise, you would not be randomly getting drunk at taverns and forgetting who you hired.
Fudgy.
You hear
I go,
from
"Do you
you
know
hear from
dwarves?"
some of you hear laughter from the three dwarves that are kind of
Ellie,
perched there
Have
as
you
you
ever
said that.
been around dwarves?
You do, however, now hear footsteps from behind you, on the creaky dock. As you kind of look, another figure covered head to toe in cold weather gear is walking up behind you. He wags a gloved finger at the dwarf. You have no honor, Berry Boar. This newcomer yells, pulling down a muffled a scarf, a kind of a muffler, like a fur muffler. Pulls it down, and you notice that it is clearly the pale features and the smooth skin of but somewhat humanish cast to it. Clearly a half elf. You're standing there, sending these innocent people to their deaths, and for what? A few fish? Pay no mind to this rambling fool. Did you tell them about the monster?
There is a monster.
What about the monster?
Yes, let's go see it.
Fudgy.
At which point, he bellows out, "There is no monster! Get to work!" And those of you that you can speak Dwarvish actually blush for the list of profanity and the things that he calls the half elf, and specifically about his mother and father, about how he came into being. And you see him as he stomps off the dock and into this little shack that was at the end of the dock.
Well, hello.
I'm getting the feeling that Gresnik doesn't like me very much.
You get the
Maybe.
correct feeling.
In fairness, it's probably between anybody who gets between him and the gold swing in this lake. But hello, yes, I'm Tally. Nice to meet you.
Tal.
Nice to meet you.
I'm glad that I was
Pleasure to
here
meet
to save you from going out there unprepared.
I wasn't going out there.
Well,
I
wasn't
wanted
going out
to,
there. I am not a fisherman.
but you know
I
what?
don't know if you can tell, but I'm not
Winzira is-
built for fishing.
Winzira is the bravest of us.
Well,
But,
Tally,
thank you for telling us. And I give her a hug.
Oh.
We actually just came over to find out where there was a local inn, but now that you're here, maybe you can fill us in with some of these tales of the lake monster and his greed. Can we
wanna
buy you
know
a
about
meal?
Fudgy.
Well, I can tell you this. I am a researcher. I've made my way up here to Icewind to study how the climate changes are affecting the natural wildlife. But with now a 2 year long night in play, all kinds of things have been happening. I've actually been fascinated by these reports of this sea monster, this monster of the lake. And I've been frequenting the docks, though, to warn any uninformed people who are going out that there's some grave dangers waiting for them out there. I've been trying to
How
get
many have
more
gone out?
direct sightings and any information, but sadly there have been very few, although some who have made it back after seeing the beast.
What is
Some
it?
say that it's the size of an ox, while others say that it's closer to the size of a house. It's very difficult to get an accurate description from fishermen. They are rather a superstitious lot. Some say that the monster might be a whale or a large fish, which is somewhat ridiculous, but how a whale would get placed into one of these lakes. But others say that it is more of a lizard-like in its appearance, with a scaly skin and long neck.
Well, I have to tell you, Tally, we're actually quite curious about this. We've actually heard of tales of this
Pudgy.
creature. So named by a few as Fudgy.
Oh. He pulls out a notebook and writes it down on the cover. You see him write the word fudgy in common right on the cover.
It's gonna go viral.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. He hands the notebook to you. I can offer you not much, but my gratitude. And, well, scroll, which you might find useful. If you are going out on the lake for any reason, at least now you go armed and warned. And if you could write down any information that you learn about the nature of this monster, if we know what's out there, the people of Bremen would be much safer for it. And, well, it bears the potential of being awfully interesting.
I
And
agree.
I might be able to write a treatise on the monster of Mayor Dolodon, or Fudgy, as you so aptly named him.
Well, I'm for it.
Wait, what are we getting out of this?
Her gratitude.
And a
How
scroll.
much gold is gratitude?
I can offer you, well, it's not much. It's only 5 gold pieces that I have left after it's been a long winter. But I have this scroll, and it would be yours as well.
I look over to
Do you mind if I take a look
Henrik.
at the scroll?
You want? Yeah.
Roll an Arcana check, because I think that you're going to need to with this. Yeah, it's over 10. Yeah, so you can, just by gazing after it real quickly, you see that it is a spell scroll of animal friendship.
Could come in handy.
Okay.
That might come in
We
handy.
want that up front.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Though you seem to be very nice people, no.
Half the gold.
So,
It's payment, not.
so you want us to kill the monster, not
Oh, wait,
befriend
good
the
gracious.
monster.
Good gracious.
Who said
Well,
anything about killing this thing?
yes, that would make for an interesting to be able to dissect the corpse. Oh my goodness, yes, that would be. But certainly, That's not what I'm asking
What's
for you to
research?
do. No. If you could just make a accurate description of the beast, maybe if any of you are so inclined, a sketch. Oh, that would be fascinating. Yes, indeed. Most enlightening.
I mean, it would be easier if we had this animal friendship so we can get close to it, get all the sketches and stuff that you want.
If only we had somebody who was familiar with drawings and ink and like a cartographer.
Ah,
All right, Mr. Subtlepants. I can do that.
Oh, there you are.
You see him kind of fingering his quiver, looking at you.
There was a little pause there for a second.
Mm. No,
All right.
nobody
Have to
know.
go.
Nobody'd even know.
Give me a few levels. You wouldn't know either.
Friendly fire! Friendly
Right? Half the gold up front.
fire! Roll persuasion.
And the boat.
Roll persuasion. Because you're
Well,
also, if you
I don't want to say that. I'll whisper it over to somebody else with better charisma. All right, if I have to roll it, I'll roll it. Fine.
I was trying for the scroll.
Persuasion or intimidation? No, persuasion.
Yeah, you were
All right.
being kind of persuasive.
Yeah, I was being persuaded.
Yeah.
I'm going to fail this horribly. Yep.
no. Not bad.
I'll give you 2 gold up front. And the rest when you
All
come
right.
back.
Who's holding our gold? Our group gold?
I have it.
All right, I take it and I say, okay, and I give it to you. I give it to Thea. Thea?
Yep, you said it right.
Do I win a prize?
Yeah.
And remember,
Gold star.
if you want to take Grezek up on his offer, he will pay you
For what?
To catch
The
fish.
trout.
to catch a fish.
Yeah.
And you can use his boats right there, the 2.
Is there
Do
bait?
you
Inside, you see there are fishing rods and tackle and all the things that you would need. There
where's
are names written on the back of them. One is the burly ram, and the other is the pronged goat.
Do I see you said the dwarf went down the dock. Do I see him down the dock?
Yes.
I'll be like, well, we're gonna take one of his boats. I think I got an idea. I just start walking down the dock.
and I'm kind of Tally. We need some sailors.
So
Some
wait a
people who
second.
know this lake.
But isn't Thea a fisher person?
Aren't you all from
Yeah.
10 Towns?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Well, yes, but that doesn't mean I grew up on the water.
I did.
Well, just about it.
I grew up. I grew up on the frozen tundra. I did ice fishing. I didn't go out on the lake.
I misunderstood Mickey. If we have some idea of the lake.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually grew up in 10 Towns, I mean, it's goes to say that at some point you've been in a rowboat of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, Roanoke, you're actually lived out on the tundra, so yes, I can see that you might not, but certainly, Dodvin, you had at some time been on, at least a ferry or some kind of water conveyance from time to time.
Yeah, I grew up just up the water, actually just across from here.
Yeah, and with
As
your
did Henrik
and with your large size, I'm sure that you were put anytime you were to the oar
to row.
to yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thea, you most definitely growing up on
Yeah.
Dugan's Hole are well familiar.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we should just take this boat and we'll,
Well, there's 2. You could put 3 in each pretty comfortably.
All right.
Shouldn't we do something about the mounts before we get on the boats?
Sure.
I'm walking down the dock.
Okay.
Tally, where can I do some? Where is the stables that I can put our mounts away in?
Well, how long will you be out on the lake, do you think?
I don't know.
Yeah. Today, probably a few hours.
Oh, I could certainly watch your mounts for you.
Excellent.
There's not
And I stick out my
quite
hand
so
to him,
much,
and I'm like, "You will
not so
Not
much
so much
as
what?
of a proper stable in Bremen these days. Not a whole lot of travel.
I will warn you, our mounts are a little
They
fussy.
bite."
Ooh, Axpeak. How fascinating. Would you mind if I examined and studied them while you were gone?
Of course
No,
not.
no dissections.
Of course not. I hear they're
That's
quite
your own
smelly on the
peril.
inside.
I thought they smelled
That's what
bad
she
on the
said.
outside.
Right on the outside.
That's what she said.
Mm,
My son's been using that for everything he can think of, even if it doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't work, kid.
Yours have seen it. I never was able to get my daughters to watch it. True story.
Yeah, so we're gonna head out on these boats then. And
Okay.
it's almost 11, so...
yeah.
All right, so we can leave it at that if you would like. Sorry we didn't get out to any kind of fighting again, but
That's all right.
I think-
We'll
I'm
get
okay
there.
with that.
I think we moved along pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we covered a
moved the
lot of
plot
ground.
along.
all right. So, you guys load yourselves into the boats and push away from the dock as you're starting to move.
I wanted to go talk to the dwarf.
Oh, that's right.
That's what I was doing.
Let's
That's
stop that
right,
real
I'm
quick.
sorry.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for reminding me, and I apologize, Henrik.
All good.
Yeah, so you go down there. You see him kind of. He's standing in front of what looks to be like a small little can with a light inside of it. As you get closer, you can feel that it's giving off a little bit of heat. But he seems to be just standing there muttering to himself, occasionally pulling out a flask and nipping at it as you walk up.
I'm gonna say in dwarven. Oi, I want to talk. I got something to ask you.
Who are you asking? Are you
About
asking us or are
all
you
of
asking him?
no, he's talking to the dwarf,
Okay.
and we were pointing back in dwarvish. He goes, if you got time to yap, you got time to cast. What
Yeah,
do you?
well, I have thoughts about that. You know, it would probably work a lot better for you if you could get your normal fishermen to fish, but they won't fish because there's a monster. And you and I both know there is a monster. You know that. Don't try to deny it. I can see through your lies, I'm sure. I know it's there. Now, we are a capable group. What would you, and you're paying 5 copper for a fish, what would you pay for the monster?
Now, I'm not saying that I'm agreeing with you that there is a monster, because there ain't. However, if there, say, were to be a monster, and it was large, and we could eat it, then I would think that I could get a good price for monster meat if we could eat it, if there was a monster. And I'm not saying that there is a monster.
Oh, but there is. That's neither here nor there. The fact that is that it's not just the price of the meat that I'm talking. I'm talking about the fact that you can get all of your fishermen back out there and fish all day long without any issues. If this is gone, so what is that worth to you?
I'm not so sure we want to mess with this sea
I
creature.
see what you're getting at there. I'd say, well, if you brought me the head of this creature, I could probably see myself clear to coming up with a sum. And he kind of pulls out his pouch and takes a look into his pouch. I'd be willing to go 20 gold.
20 gold.
But you got to bring me the head. And it's my idea the whole time. That's my
That sounds fair.
stipulations.
That sounds fair.
The head, and anyone you tell is I sent you there to do it specifically. Deal?
I can. It sounds like a deal.
All right.
If we can find it, we'll see what we can do.
So he puts his hand and holds out his hand. Do you take it?
Yep.
Roll strength check.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see this.
Oh god.
Perfect.
Oh, but he's drunk and rolls a 3 plus 1. So while he kind of squeezes your hand a little bit, and you're like, you take no damage from the attempted domination power grip. With his, literally, he rolled a 3.
Yeah.
That's a nice firm handshake you got there.
So you guys are getting in the boat. You see Henrik kind of coming back. He's shaking his hand just a little bit, kind of making fists and whatnot. But the strange little man, this doesn't seem all that weird compared to other things. As he climbs into the boat, you guys pushing away. You see the dark waters of Mare Dulden and the ice floating out on it as you begin to row out into the lake. And that's where we'll leave it.
Never to be seen again.